can be free. I take the weight on my shoulders. As I feel the sky come down on me, and I can't hold it much longer. Gonna let go so I can be free.
Foul territory, Frasier Friday. Let's do this. The world doesn't even know yet. Kratzy and Frasier in the same spot. Plus, that song's growing on you, isn't it, AJ?
It is getting better.
Yes.
First time I heard it, I wasn't a fan, but it's better.
I love it. I love the words. I love who made it. Frasier Friday is going to be a thing every single Friday. I might be there sometimes, hopefully a lot of times. Kratzy, how is it there? Do you have enough room in the lab?
There's so much room in here. There's cameras everywhere. We got a sauna. We got a batting cage with this. I mean, there's so much. We're gonna do a whole episode, just the tour of the neon signs and stuff. The drive here might be a little. Let's put it this way: you want to make sure you got enough gas. You want to make sure you get through the whole area. You know, the hills have eyes kind of areas.
Hey, this is Jersey, man. This ain't Pennsylvania, so you got to be careful.
I know, believe me, it's signs everywhere.
They're gonna honk at you. They're gonna let you know if you're not going fast enough. So just be aware.
Some weird yellow license plates and stuff. Yeah,
they'll get you.
Hey, so I want to say hello. We're going to try and do this as much as we can to Ramstein Air Base in Germany. Many of them checking in, and we very much always appreciate your service. And we'll give them a shout out a little bit later on too. And if any of them out there want to send us a message, go for it. Also, Kratzy, Kratz hats are trying to make it a thing. Tell everyone what it's about.
I pretty much played for half the minor league teams. So AJ, he knows about it. He was a grinder in the minor leagues for a couple minutes. Todd, first rounders, they don't want to be in the minor leagues. So Todd's, his first round life it's not it. But he might have seen Louisville, maybe like Chattanooga, maybe Dayton. But today for me, got the great Lehigh Valley Iron Pigs. I don't know which camera I should be showing it to, but the Iron Pigs, they do it right. They're like a little league, big league team. They do it right up in Lehigh, AAA for the Phillies. So today it's the Iron Pigs. Played with a lot of greats there. Ronnie Belliard, probably the greatest Iron Pig ever.
Ronnie Belliard, there's a blast in the
It's not Frasier Friday. We went Philly Friday on us, so all good.
That's right, Philly Friday, baby. And also, yesterday was insane. We had Carlos Correa's interview running. Then we had Francisco Lindor, Edwin Diaz, Tommy Pham, who went a little viral on TikTok. Frasier, I know you love that stuff too. That's the one part I'm listening to Tommy Pham rehash the whole deal with Jock Peterson. And also, guest-wise, I'll mix this in. We got Bobby Nightingale Jr., who covers the Reds. He'll give us a little more on that from last year because it popped again on social media. And Bobby's father, Bob, also joining us, insider. Whit Merrifield of the Toronto Blue Jays in about 5 minutes. But anyway, Frasier, I was thinking about you yesterday because remember, you asked Wayno the day before about the big brawl with the Reds and the Cardinals in 2010. Tommy Pham had the slap heard around the world. And I remember when that happened, I was like, that's not getting covered enough. Like, for this show, we'll bring on Tommy and Jock live to, like, go at it and do a little, a verbal debate, whatever you want to call it on. Let's just figure this shit out. So, anyway, I was thinking about you yesterday when Tommy brought it all back. He also, cursed a little bit, and he was like, oh, my bad. And then we're like, no, dude, you're not on TV. And he's like, oh, great. All right. So, he was a bitch, whatever. So, did you catch that clip?
Yeah, I saw the whole thing, man. He just sounded calm, cool, and collective about it like he's done it before, So Tommy is a different cat, all in the best possible ways. I loved every second about him. I was thinking about Teddy Barrett, too, maybe getting some gloves on there because we talked to him the other day. I think that would be phenomenal. Just getting him in the ring for a couple minutes. Just a 2-minute, get after it, put the headgear on, and, away they go. So hopefully we get those two back in action. I think that'll be good. What do you think, Kratzy?
For sure. Oh, we're pitting. We get a 64 round of 32. We can get it down. We have the one-on-one matchups. If Teddy wants to get in there, I think Teddy's concussions.
Yeah, no, we're not going to do
Teddy. Teddy will just he'll be the referee. He'll be the referee. He'll be like, drop gloves, you guys good, that kind of thing. But no, it was good. It was good. I'm glad I can hang out here with Todd though. This is where it's at.
Appreciate that.
Is there a bed for him?
Of course. I got the couch behind me. He's fine.
There's beds everywhere. What were you going to say?
Nothing. We brought up Ramstein Air. I'm sorry, I'm changing the subject, going back. But wasn't Edwin Jackson born in Ramstein Air Force Base? There's been a few big league players that are from there. Yeah, I believe Edwin Jackson was born there. I'm trying to think of a couple other guys, but there's a few big leaguers that were born while their family was in Ramstein, I believe.
I'm trying to look it up. All right, I'll look it up while we bring in our first guest of the day, a buddy of mine. For a long time, called his games in the Cape League. I know Kratzy always gets to throw out like, oh, I know everyone. I played with everyone, right? Well, Kratzy, I knew him before you. I called his games in college. It's the great Whit Merrifield joining us. Whit, we've been talking about this for a long time, man. Like, this is where it's at. How you doing?
I'm good, guys. Hope you're doing well.
Hey, Whit, dude, like, I know you're in Dunedin right now. Sun's out, guns out. I mean, geez, you look like Scotty Braun with the biceps rocking, man.
Those arms I got over here, and all these guys rock the cutoffs with Bo and Chappie, and it's Florida. It's beautiful. My guys back in Arizona are freezing their balls off, so I figured I'd represent and rock the cutoff shirts.
That's awesome.
Those cutoff shirts are not looking like you're going to steal too many bags this year. It looks like it's going to be some dingers.
Well, it's free agent year, so bags don't they don't make as much money as homers do in that right side.
No. Hey, listen. Yeah, you're 100% true, man. That's my next question to answer. How's the BP over there? I mean, Vlad Guerrero's got to be putting on a show. Bo Bichette, man, how is it watching the boys there taking BP, especially down there in Florida where you're at?
Yeah, you just kind of stop when Vladdy's hitting and watch and see what he can do and what he does. He's crazy. It's just crazy to watch him. And then just everybody really. I mean, from Chappie to Bo to Vladdy we got guys that just put shows on out there. It's fun to be around.
Hey, Whit, can you describe your facility you guys have in Dunedin? I was fortunate enough to get a tour, I don't know, a month or so ago of that brand new facility that you guys have. Can you just describe like the labs they have? They have hitting labs everywhere. They got pitching labs. They got this weight room that's like the size of like a baseball field. They got indoor everything. Like, can you explain to people what the facility in Dunedin looks like now?
It's crazy. It is crazy. They have done it right here. The one thing that's took me a little bit to get used to is the game field is down the road. This is a different facility than where we play our games. So that was a little odd, but I mean, we got everything and anything you can imagine, from barbershop to everything in the hydro room that you can imagine. We got a little. I'm actually about to go get this little pod that you float in and relax. So that'll be fun. And we just got this machine in our hitting lab that you can plug in the pitcher. It's a big screen. The machine moves to the arm slot of the pitcher, and the machine will grab the ball, will grab the laces the way the pitcher would. Like, so if he's throwing a slider, the machine will take the ball and turn it, and then you'll see the pitcher go through his motion, and then right when he gets to release, the ball come out, and the spin is exact, the velocity is exact, and it can throw it wherever it wants to. So it's a $600,000 machine. So naturally, we bought two of them.
Wait, how much is it? How much is it? $600K, you said?
Yeah, 600,000. So
Whit.
Yeah.
So did the Blue Jays? I don't know. People out there don't know this. Your dad, he works at Wake Forest, right? He works for Wake Forest baseball team.
Yeah.
So, who has a better facility, the Blue Jays or Wake Forest lab? Because he was. I don't know even if you know this, and I played golf with your dad not that long ago. And he was bragging on their facility, and I'm like, man, if it's better than the Blue Jays, he's like, we got everything. So who's better, Wake Forest or the Blue Jays?
Well, Wake's got the pitching lab right now. I think the next phase of their development is supposed to be the hitting lab, similar to what the Blue Jays have got. But their pitching lab right now is, I think it's next to none. I know a lot of big leaguers come down and get work in there in the offseason to get all their whatever looked at. It's really good for pitchers to go and get a feel for what their arm's doing and where they could be susceptible to injury. And it's pretty cool. If you're a baseball guy and a pitching guy, I would highly recommend going and checking it out.
So can you beat your dad in golf? Because he was bragging you up. Now he was saying what a good golfer you are.
Yeah, he's pretty good. It's a pretty fair fight at this point.
Now, is that because of age or because you don't get to practice as much because of spring training?
He's getting a little old. Yeah, I can hit it past him now. But I'm not letting him move up. He keeps bitching about wanting to move up. And I'm like, no, you can still hit it far enough where you're gonna have to play back here with me. So, but he's good. I mean, he used to be really good, and then when I got to the point where I was playing all sorts of sports, he kind of put off my side and started coaching me. And his game isn't what it used to be, but he's still got the hands.
Hey, Whit, Todd again, man. The transition of getting traded, it's tough. I've been traded or picked up by 6 different teams, not as many as Kratzy over here through his career. But is there somebody that you look to lean on, like you got a locker mate or a buddy there that's like, you know what, get acclimated more with a new team that you're with?
Yeah, when I came over, I'd known Matt Chapman, a little bit just from playing against him really throughout the course of my career from AA on. And so we've known each other, just not really on that personal level because we never played together. But he was a guy that really helped get me familiar and comfortable with the team. Everybody was great, though. I mean, the time I got traded, guys were reaching out, and it didn't take long to get comfortable in that clubhouse. So I was fortunate there.
Let me get you a little bit comfort. I need to know. My roomie is your manager. My first ever roommate, John Schneider. We were drafted together.
Wow.
He was a 13th round pick, and I was way later than that. But we roomed together, and so I need to know one story that nobody knows about John Schneider, and then I'll try to top it because I enjoy being like AJ, Tommy Topper.
Schneid. Well, I haven't. I don't know if I can give you that yet, Kratz. I mean, I'm still relatively new to the team and haven't got to experience Schneid too much outside of Skipper Schneid, and so I'm hoping to break that barrier and circle back with me in maybe a couple months, and I can provide you a better story, hopefully.
Okay, so have you ever played with a manager that's as big as him with as much swag? Usually the swaggy managers are the little guys that like fit into the tiny gear. Have you ever played for a manager that has that much swag?
He's got some swag. There's no doubt about that. He is proud of his shoes. He is proud of his glasses. He's proud of his beard. And, he's rocking it for sure. Jersey boy.
Yep.
Hey, there ain't nothing better than that, big dog. You'll get to know that pretty soon. Don't you worry. You fit right in with the cutoff. Hey, you're fitting in already, dude. Perfect. If I had the guns,
I'm just trying to fit in.
That's all I can ask.
Hey, that's a win in my book. Whit knows too. They'd be practicing and working out in the mornings. I would too, but I'm like, I don't have to play baseball, so I'd be working out differently when I knew him back in Chatham, Massachusetts, playing for the Chatham A's. Question for you though, Whit. I remember you said this at one point last year when you moved teams. You said Toronto, they do like little post-game talks sometimes. What was that about? Like where they'd hang out right in the clubhouse and like just chit chat about the game, maybe kick back, have a drink or something. Is that a thing? Is that still going on? Because I think that's really cool, and I don't think most teams do that, right? Like, don't most teams go home or guys are in their phone?
Right. No, it is. It's guys that love baseball, and we got a lot of guys that come from baseball families and whose dads played in the game back when you did that type of stuff. Back when you would hang out and talk about the game and have a beer and we got Bo, we got Blatty, we got Kevin, we got Varsho now. That's what these guys grew up around, and so I think that sort of became the thing, and it's great, and I really it's cool to sit around and decompress and talk about the game and just hang with each other. That's the best part about playing this game, in my opinion.
So I love that because we used to do that. We'd sit around after the game and drink beer and talk about whatever and try to get the young guys involved. Now, when you're sitting around with Bo Bichette, have you asked him, like, hey, how do you grow hair like that? Like, what's your product line? He needs his own product line. Maybe I'm thinking you should come out, grow your hair out like Bo. You guys could start a product line, figure out, conditioner.
We should. Yeah, we should. I don't know I don't know how long it would take me to get hair like that. First off,
Could you get at least get like the do rag, right? Like the whatever you call it, the headband thing he's got. When he shakes his head and gets the hair going.
Yeah. It seems, he's got it down, but it seems exhausting to try to keep up with it. It does. I don't know if I'd be up for it, but he rocks it. That's for sure.
Hey, Whit, speaking of rules, man, new rules have been implemented here this year. I think you're on the rules committee. Big process that went down. Umpires got to learn a lot of new things. You have to learn a lot of new things. Talk to us about it. How's it been going with the clock and, trying to speed up the game a little bit, man? What are your thoughts about that?
It's going to be an adjustment. I think it's going to be relatively good for the game. Guys are working slow. Guys were working slow the last couple of years. And, we're trying to, I don't know, the league thinks this will incorporate more action in the game and encourage guys to put the ball in play, throw more strikes, yada, yada. And it might. But it's been I've played in 3 games now and haven't seen an infraction. Haven't seen any instance that would cause me to be concerned. But I have been talking to umpires, and I was talking the other day. I was saying, what happens here, because they're being super strict on the amount of time in between innings and when the pitcher can throw his last pitch, when the catcher can throw it down, stuff like that. So I said, what happens if we're in the first base dugout? I'm playing left field. In the third out, I go into the corner and dive and catch the ball for the third out. And it takes me a second to gather myself and get up. I throw the ball in the stands. The clock's already started. I have to run all the way across the field, go in the dugout, find my helmet, get my helmet, put it on. And by the time that happens, everybody's looking at me because they've already thrown it down and the clock starts. Is that going to be a strike? Are you guys going to give some discretion? And they said, no, it's going to be a strike. That's just kind of tough luck. And I was like, I don't think that's right. And that doesn't seem right. And so I called the guys on the rules committee. And they're like, no, that's not right. They're supposed to give you discretion. So I'm like, all right, well, y'all need to talk because apparently we got some wires crossed about certain things. And so, there's going to be situations like that come up that, we're going to have to work through. And, fortunately, I think already there was wasn't it like Atlanta and Boston guy got strike 3 or ball 4 or something to end the game. And so, fortunately, that's happening early in spring, so we can work through some stuff.
Whit, what do you got? What do you got on your over/under on stolen bases? Now the bigger bases, are you like, I'm back to being a 40 guy?
Yeah, the bigger bases are. I think I'll get maybe an extra bag or 2 that I might have been out before, but it's the clock. The clock is going to be a big factor in stealing bases. So, it's a little bit more of a unique situation here because I'm hitting probably be hitting further down the lineup, and you got guys like George Springer and Bo and Blatty coming up that you might want to be a little more hesitant to make sure you're actually going to get that bag. You don't want to get thrown out with those guys hitting. So, but 40 is the number that I'm looking at right now, and
good call.
Yeah, I would like to go back to getting 40 back.
Hey, Whit, going back to your clock question about you diving or your clock answer, like a pitcher,
Yeah.
like let's take a pitcher. You're a hitter, and let's say the guy in front of you hits a double, right? And there's a guy on first, and the pitcher has to back up third, back up home. He's running around crazy, right? The ball bounces away a little bit, and he's out of breath. Pitchers, they get out of breath. He's huffing and puffing. He's walking back to the mound. They start the clock as soon as the play's ended. When do they start that clock?
So they're supposed to start it when everybody's, I guess, in a normal position. Like when the pitcher is back on the mound with the ball in a, I forget the verbiage, but like a normal, like routine position. That's when the clock's supposed to start. So they are going to give the guy discretion, or they're supposed to let him get back to the mound. Now, if he's taking his sweet time, they might say something to him and then start the clock if he doesn't speed it up a little bit. But yeah, it's all supposed to be kind of discretionary, and It's gonna. I'm sure there'll be some umpires that hear about it throughout the course of the year.
So like, let's say it's in the World Series. So you guys, the Blue Jays get to the World Series. It's Game 7, 3-2 count. The pitcher doesn't get the ball off in time. Is there going to be an umpire that's going to be like, "Yep, game over, World Series over. They didn't beat the shot clock"?
That's what they're saying. They're saying they're going to be.
It's dumb.
They're going to be very strict about it, and none of the players voted for this. We all voted against it. Not that we were against it, but we were against, like the example you just made. We don't want that to.
You stumped him, AJ. You stumped him. We'll get him back.
Must be in the minor league facility. Minor league internet.
Minor league internet is not sharp.
I've been there.
No, that's interesting. Then I want to get the follow up there from Whit, because you have that rules committee. He's on it, but it's kind of rigged because there's more non-players than players. So it's really just like a gesture. But my thing is, I'm just curious, like, did the players not want to pitch clock at all, or did they want more input on how it works?
Well, no, but they also can implement rules, and the players have no say in it, right?
Yes.
The commissioner can go to the Players Association and say, "Hey, we're doing this, and you can't stop us."
Yes, but in fairness,
that doesn't make sense either, because the players are the product.
The players are the product, but they don't always. I'm all about that. I mean, we're talking to players every day on this show. At the same time, I think, and many others think, the pitch clock's a great thing. And here, Whit's back, and Whit, we're talking about this just now. You're on the committee. The committee, though, is kind of rigged because there's more non-players than players. So it's really just nice gesture. You guys talk things out. Were the players like anti-pitch clock, period? Or, hey, we want to have more input on how this works? Because, I mean, I'm the only fan perspective here on the show, like, of these guys. I love the way it speeds things up. I'm just wondering, like you guys are talking about, if there should be some leeway sometimes. Is that what the guys were kind of pissed about?
Yeah, we weren't against it at all. It was just like AJ just said, we don't want this to be a determining factor in a crucial game. And I guess there's no way around that. But yeah, like the disengagement rule with the pitchers, like you only pick twice. To me, they want more action in the game. That's kind of a lazy way to go about it. Same with getting rid of the shift. Obviously the shift was a lot more, polarizing. There was more opinions from both sides on that, and it was more split from a player's perspective. But to me, like the shift, you should be able to play your defense where you want to play them, and that it shouldn't limit you to do that. I mean, it's like telling me Justin Jefferson is killing me, and I can't put a safety over top to protect him. Like, I mean, what are we doing? That's my opinion on that. But yeah, I mean, players weren't against the pitch clock at all. It was just we're concerned that we're overshooting it, and hopefully that won't be the case, and guys will get used to it quickly, and it'll be smooth. So we'll see how it goes.
Listen, if the shift was normalized, I still probably have 2 or 3 more years left in my career. Just to be honest, I'm a big believer in not having the shift. No offense to what you think. I think I'd get those 100 more hits a year. But who's saying that? Talking about struggling, which I did a lot in my career, of course, too. Let's be honest. You went a year or last year when you were struggling a little bit. I think Greinke talked to you about it too as well, man. What did he say? He had some good words of encouragement for you to kind of get you going a little bit.
Yeah, last year was a tough year. I think I went like 3 for April to start the year, and I think I counted. There were 6 diving plays made on me in the month of April alone, and they always tell you, don't get caught up in results, just trust the process. Well, yeah, when you look up and you're hitting 80, that's hard to do. You want to get results. You want to look better. Even though I'm like, oh, well, I feel good. Yeah, well, you're not doing anything. So it's that I dug myself a nice deep hole, and fortunately finished the year pretty strong to salvage a somewhat okay year from an individual standpoint. But when I got traded, I was going around telling bye to everybody, giving everybody hugs, and didn't see Zach because this was like 2 hours before first pitch. I think he was out throwing a bullpen or something. But later in the day, I get a text from him, and it's there's no words. It's just a screenshot of a tweet from must have been a Blue Jay writer, but it said like Whit's hitting whatever I was hitting, but his expected is like I would have been hitting like 280 with like my slug would have been like 4 something. It was just what my numbers were expected versus what they were, and that was Greinke's like goodbye to me. Like, I know you're playing bad, but you're not playing that bad. And that was just in the most Greinke way possible that he told me that. It was he's great. I loved playing with him, and every day was a new story. It seemed like.
I need another Greinke story because he grew up. I live in Orlando. He grew up in Orlando. He's kind of an Orlando, legend now that all these stories have started coming out. So I need some more Greinke stories. Like, I want to hear because there's all these stories about all these things he says. So like, what's the best, I guess / worst, craziest thing he's ever said to you?
We were on the bus. We bussed from St. Louis back to Kansas City because we got snowed out or rained out, and it just would have been quicker for us to drive back instead of waiting on the plane to come. And anyway, so we're on the bus, and Greinke's pitching the next day, and he and Salvi are in the front, and I'm sitting behind Greinke, and they're going over the game plan for the next day, and going over guys that like to swing early in the count, and I forget who we were playing, but they're like, yeah, this guy, he'll swing early. He's got a lot of damage early, so we might want to try to, make sure we execute a good pitch 0-0. And he turned around to me and goes, "You like to swing first pitch a lot, right?" And I was like, I mean, I'm not for taking a strike, so yeah, if it's a good pitch, I like to swing. And he goes, "Yeah, I think I remember that when I was with Houston. They told me that." And then I told them, I said, I'll just throw a fastball away. What's the worst you could do? Flip it to right? I was like, I guess. Basically telling me that I got no pop is what he was telling me in a nonchalant way. And and he meant nothing by it. He was just like, yeah, I'll just throw you a fastball away, and worst case scenario, you hit a little soft line drive to right. All right. I didn't know this was like early in the year, so I was like, I'm still trying to feel Zach out. But it got to the point. It's great when you kind of give it back to him. We call him like a robot because he doesn't know how to. He's got really witty sayings, but it takes him a little bit to get it. And so when you say something back to him, he thinks it's funny. It's like you can see like the wheels turning in his head, and he just kind of like locks up. And it's you got him. He's a treat. He's one of a kind.
That's good.
That's Zach.
Yeah. Have you given him shit back?
We've had some run-ins.
Yeah? We've had some run-ins?
We've had some run-ins. Yeah, we've had some run-ins.
Great. Well, we got you every day. So, hey, Whit, this was awesome. Really appreciate having you on. Looking forward to having you on throughout the season. You like this?
Yeah, this is great. What you guys are doing is awesome. Really enjoyed the conversations you've had so far with different guys.
Thank you, Whit. Hey, have fun out there. Keep hitting the gym. Forget 40 stolen bases, Kratzy. 40 homers this year, baby.
Let's have a gun off.
GTL, baby. GTL. Let's go.
I'm trying to get like Kratz, man.
No, dude. Brawny, show him your guns. Like, Whit, let's have a gun off, dude.
Kratz, let me see. Give him a little Benny biceps real quick. Come on.
It's too cold in here. Everything's colder when everything's smaller when it's cold.
Kratzy, how many kids you got now?
3.
I feel like you had like 5 when we were playing together. But
no, see, I would have had 5. But I kept getting traded so often that it was like, no, it got kiboshed. Like all those actions got kiboshed. Like I'm done.
They're all boys though, right?
2 boys. 2 boys. When we were playing together, it was 2 boys, and my daughter was just a little baby. But they were always in the clubhouse raking in the cage. Yeah.
I think they were just so off the wall that it felt like there was 5 of them.
They were well behaved. Well behaved.
Oh, no.
Clearly not.
Clearly not.
I love it. Wait, we'll probably be at Dunedin at some point in a few weeks, so we'll see you then. Cheers, man.
Yeah. Sounds good. I got some cutoffs waiting for you guys.
Yes, let's go.
Yes.
Appreciate you. See you soon. All right, Whit Merrifield with us on Foul Territory. Ooh.
There's a lot to digest. The rules that he was
Yeah,
talking about.
that was awesome.
But then Frasier, Kratz, you guys, well, Kratz more than Frasier, but what he said about production, he's like, yeah, I had 6 diving plays, and people are like, oh, you're hitting the ball good. Screw that, dude. I want knocks. Like he said, he's like, you know, when you line out and the guy goes, good swing. No, man, it's a bad swing. The guy caught it. I want to hit.
Yeah, but here's my thing with that, because I've talked to quite a few guys that go off this, and it seems like it's also a psychological thing. And this is where I want to get your take is, if a guy's in the first month not putting up great numbers, and they're like, your expected stats are looking good, like you're smoking the shit out of the ball, there's been some nice plays.
Don't care.
Yeah, but no, I understand that. But some guys then be freaking out and trying to tweak things?
Yeah, because they want to look up and see some hits.
Yeah, but if you tweak things, then it could get worse. You could spiral out of control, or no?
It could, but it could get better.
I know Goldschmidt does this phrase. Like, there's been a couple seasons where he starts slow, and he's like top 5 StatCast, everything, whatever, and he's like, yeah, I got, it's coming. You know, I see the results. You don't change a thing, and then he's hitting bombs and he's an MVP.
No, and you know what's funny about that? Goldsmith you talk about, he struggled. We're like, oh man, we got him. You know, if Goldsmith doesn't go, we win the game. Then he starts getting hot when we play him. It was the most ridiculous thing in the world when we were with the Mets. All of a sudden, he was, 3 for his last 30. Next thing you know, 10 for 15 in a 3-game series. You're like, what? Why us? So those are the guys you worry about every time, no matter if they're struggling or not. Whit, Goldsmith, Trout, we can go down the line. I mean, honestly, Kratz, it doesn't matter who it is. If you're good, you're going to find a way to get your numbers where it's at.
For sure, but I'm on board with AJ. Like, especially when AJ's playing 5 days a week, and then I'm coming in for my one start.
Oh, man.
If I'm hitting a rocket and someone's catching it, I'm pissed. That bat is getting snapped. I'm probably coming out in the 7th inning, and AJ's pinch hitting for me. So I'm on board with AJ. Like, I get it. Wins, runs created, plus. No. I need to get them knocks, and I don't care how I get them. I'll put a bunt down.
So what Eric just said is funny because, like, when I got older and we had the backup catcher, and I was playing every day still, I'd always just tell them, like, there's 2 rules. 1, you try to win so I don't have to pinch hit. And 2, you cannot get ejected because there's a good chance that I'm not going to be ready to come in if it's, like, early in the game. So keep me out of the game if it's my off day. Like, keep me out because I don't want to go in the 8th inning and face the closer, 9th inning face the closer. That's 0 for 1. You're like, dang it, what a waste of an off day.
You're good.
For sure. No.
AJ's in the hot tub in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd inning.
No,
And he should be.
No.
I mean, yeah, most likely, but Jesus.
No, I was like this, Frasier. I was like this with my feet up. Like this, look. In the clubhouse watching y'all on TV.
That's it, man.
And he should be. He earned it. Nobody
No
works
doubt.
harder than the starting catcher, especially a dude like AJ who plays 130-plus games a season for, like, what was it, AJ? 14 seasons?
Yeah, something like that.
So, like,
Frazier had a bad back. He couldn't get out there. Kratz, you don't understand catcher life.
You're just caressing this guy.
Hey,
we're on a good show, and this guy's putting his feet up on the table thinking he's hot shit.
I'm not saying he's a good teammate. I'm saying he's the
Thank you.
starting catcher. There's a big difference.
Perfect. I respect
There's
that.
a big
now.
difference.
Respectable.
And for me to be a good teammate, I better sure as heck make sure I don't get thrown out. That's why I had no ejections. Never got ejected. Because if my guy has to come in the 6th inning, oof, he's pissed. He's not giving me a high five. He's not like, oh, yeah, good job. Way to stand up for him. No, he's taking me out to dinner. I'm getting a Gucci bag. I'm getting Louis Vuitton. I'm getting some fresh New Balances, whatever it is. Like, because you really, that you are at no other position is like that besides that catcher. AJ and his backup. And I'm sure, as much as I joke about the fact that, he's probably a bad teammate if he's sitting up with his feet up, I know he remembers every one of his backup catchers because it matters. And he has to have that relationship with him, or else it's not an extension of him going out there. Like, it's guys that are out there, and it's a big thing. So, yeah, you put your feet up, AJ, okay? So on Thursdays when you're not out here, you got to make sure you put your feet up, okay?
We'll be grinding. Hey, I got to give you the boot right now, Kratzy. We got Bobby Nightingale Jr. and Father Bob's coming on a little bit later. Bobby, we really appreciate you coming on. At Nightingale Jr. on Twitter, covers the Reds on a daily basis, does a sick job. How's it going out there? And Dad's there too today, right? You got Big Daddy Bob?
I think I'll see him at the game. He's going to be. I think he's in White Sox camp, so I haven't seen him yet, but I've seen him a little bit this spring.
Cool. Hey, so tell us about the Reds right now. And I know, some in Cincinnati are down about, hey, this team's not going to be contending at all in the Central this year. Try and make Todd feel a little bit better about the Red season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a rebuilding team, but I think you can start seeing a little bit of the core come into place, like Hunter Green. He had a nice end of his rookie season. Nick Lodolo, Graham Ashcraft. So, I mean, you have 3 starters that could be, number 3 or better in a rotation, all under 25 years old. So I think that's something exciting. Jonathan India's coming back from an injury and looks great. Tyler Stevenson, if he's in the lineup 150 games, I think you feel good about him being one of the better hitting catchers in the league. And he's going to play a lot more DH this year to keep his bat in the lineup. And then, I think there's other storylines like, it could be Joey Votto's last season in a Reds uniform. It's his last guaranteed season. He's coming back from an injury right now, coming back from surgery. So he might miss opening day, but I think there's enough storylines that should get through the season, even if it's a team that's probably not going to contend.
Hey, big dog, Todd Frazier here. Hope all is well. Hope it's warm there for one. I heard it was cold a while ago. Question for you. Eli De La Cruz, man. I've been hearing a lot about him. I'm a big card collector. I've been collecting his cards, hoping for a big payout down the road here. Talk to me. Does he have a chance of making it out of spring training? I know he's only made it to AA for a handful of games. He's been opening up a lot of eyes here lately. So talk to me about Eli.
Yeah, I don't think he has a chance for opening day. They've really kind of pumped he's only played 2 months above A ball, 2 months in AA. Like, let's make it realistic expectations. But I mean, you can see the tools there. I mean, he's a 6'6" shortstop, would be one of the tallest shortstops ever if he stays at the position. The consistency's not there compared to like Kevin Newman's in camp, and Jose Barrero's another young shortstop that's probably going to compete for the opening day job. Those guys are a little bit more consistent defensively than Ellie is. But you can see it. I mean, he's probably the fastest guy on the team. His arm probably has one of the strongest arms on the team. Hit 500-foot homers last year. So, I mean, the talent's legit. You can see it all flash, especially in the drills, like base running drills. When he's going first to third, he's so much faster than everybody else. But you can tell he probably needs a little bit more seasoning before he's up. Maybe if everything goes well, I could see midseason.
Bobby, tell me about I'm sure you saw the viral clip of Tommy Pham's response to the slap heard around Cincinnati. Tell me about it. What do you got on it?
Yeah, I mean, that's everything he said when it happened. I remember I was sitting in the press box. I was looking in left field, and I didn't see the slap just because no one's looking in the outfield during batting practice expecting someone to get slapped. But I remember the Reds it wasn't like a bench clearing. You saw guys run from the batting cage and sprint into the outfield. And then you saw people surround Jock. You saw people surround Tommy. I think Tommy got into it a little bit with the Giants pitching coach too. So you could tell something happened. And then when he came off the field, he said, it was about fantasy football. He said some stuff I don't condone, and he's kind of maintained it. And then when you see the video, I mean, he literally just walked up to him and said, I think he told Jock, do you remember what happened last year? And Jock said, yeah, and then he hit him. So I mean, it was a crazy time. I mean, it was one of those. It felt like every day there was like something more coming out of it because Tommy had to sit out the first game while MLB investigated. Then he got suspended, and then Jock came out and he was like, it was just he basically played the fantasy football line, and then Tommy was saying, no, it's more about Tex and disrespecting me, disrespecting my teammates, and but I mean, it's just Tommy's personality. I saw the show yesterday. I mean, Tommy's just a guy you don't mess with, and that's him to a T.
Who's the new enforcer?
Yeah, I mean, that's the one where they probably need Ellie De La Cruz to come up. I mean, a 6'6" guy just to hold it down like Tommy did. There was one incident that didn't get as much attention, obviously, as a slap, but Luke Voigt, he collided with Tyler Stevenson at the plate last year in San Diego. And it was Tommy's first time back in San Diego since he came to the Reds, played in San Diego for a few years. And so he collided with Tyler Stevenson. Tyler Stevenson gets a concussion. He's injured. And then post-game, we go to Tommy, just because it was his first game back, and ask him what he thought about the slide. And he goes, it was dirty as hell, starts going off. And he says, hey, I know a couple of gym owners out here in San Diego. I know my Ty. If he wants to throw down, I will throw down with Luke Voigt. And if you guys know who Luke Voigt is, I mean, he's like 6'5", 250 pounds. But he was challenging him to a fight post-game. I mean, it was one of those like, okay, this is what Tommy's about. And this was in April when they were like 3-20. the season was already kind of gone, and he was already ready to throw down for guys.
I love it. I love it. Bobby, I've known your dad for like well over 25 years, coming up with the Twins. He was always around in the old Metrodome. Give me a story. What's he like off the field? Because I only ever really saw him in the clubhouse. So we have him coming up. What do we need to ask your dad about? Like maybe raising you, how you got in the business? Like, what do we need to ask your father?
Well, you got to ask him about his car. He's had a car since I was a kid. I mean, 2001, 2002 Infiniti G35. He just wrecked it a few days ago. And he didn't tell me about it until 2 days or a day and a half later. So I found about it basically the same time, like after everyone else. People are coming up to me and like, sorry to hear about your dad's car accident. And he's fine. But one of those, he didn't tell me, but he was so devastated he lost that car. I mean, he was willing to put in like money to like try to save it. But one of those totaled like 2001, 2002 cars. But I never got to drive it, barely got to ride in it. So one of those things he kind of valued a ton.
So he didn't take you to the Metrodome in his car and let you follow him around when he was doing interviews, doing all the pregame, postgame stuff. He just said, "No, you got to walk."
Basically, felt like it. Or he'd take my mom's car.
Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Is that public? Did anyone know? Like you could have scooped it and said, especially because he's okay. Hey, the OG Nightingale ride is done.
Well, he kept going to he went to an event that day. So like other reporters saw him, and I think they heard the story. I don't know exactly what it was, but like Bobby Bonilla was behind him, I guess, and saw the whole thing. So the word was spread before I found out about it.
Wow. Hey, I know you got just 1 minute left, Bobby, and we'd love to have you back sometime. We're going to have quite a few Reds on this show coming up soon. Probably easier to do this with Votto, or someone like Nick Lodolo. Give me something good that these guys can give them shit for. Like what's something Votto's full of stories, but so maybe you do something sneaky on Lodolo. What do you got on those two? You're around them every day.
I mean, Votto's just such a different personality. I mean, he does so many crazy things. He's been leading they're doing like a talent show in the clubhouse, and Votto's been the MC of the entire thing, and heard he's been really getting into character for it, wearing different outfits and everything, really going into it. So that's something. I mean, Votto's Votto, kind of a one-on-one type guy.
Yeah, Frasier, Hey, Bobby, thank you so much for doing this. Great having you on, and we'll talk to Dad about the unfortunate loss of the car there in a little bit. All right?
Yeah, you might bring him to tears. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. See, that's the good stuff. That's the scoop right there.
Yeah,
you bring on Bob, that's going to hit home. Because the thing is, and I've known Bob for years too, and he's one of those. He's locked in on baseball, right? Like, do you have a lot of conversations with him about other things, or it's about the game? So that's my big thing. Is there's I'll give you an example. Larry Boa, right? You talk to Larry Boa, it's always going to be about the game. There's other guys you talk to, and they just want to talk about where's your favorite food spot, whatever. When I used to work hockey, a lot of guys would be like that too, where they just want to talk hockey. So we gotta get the softer side of Bob.
Yeah, if he starts crying, I might lose it because he was like the first big reporter when I was coming up with the Twins. Like if Bob Nightingale, because he lives around Minneapolis, so he was always there. But if Bob Nightingale, he did Sports Weekly for USA Today, so if he came up and talked to you, you're like, man, I must be doing something all right because this is Bob Nightingale I'm talking to. Mm-hmm. And now we're going to get to talk to him for a while, hopefully, and we can talk about his bad driving.
True. All right, we got him in 15 minutes, so let's get back to the good stuff here. News stories of the day. Let me run through a couple of them for you. Let's start with Wandy Peralta. So he struck out. Good luck. Wish me luck on this name, everyone. Tucupita Marcano. I think I nailed it just now. I've been getting better with it. Struck him out on 3 pitches in the second inning on Thursday. The at-bat took less than 20 seconds. 85-mile-an-hour slide piece. Got him with a quick strike 1. Then it was a 94-mile-an-hour sinker, and it was over the swing for strike 2. And then a changeup frozen on it for strike 3. Brian Hoke of MLB.com giving us the play-by-play of that one. 20 seconds, and the at-bat was over. I mean, that's less time than it takes for most guys to stroll up to the plate. That's less time than it takes for a lot of other dirty things I could say. But even washing your hands is supposed to be 20 seconds, right?
Supposed to be.
That's what we learned today, that you're supposed to. 20 seconds, that's a
long time.
That's a long time for washing hands. For an at-bat, that's quick as hell.
Oh, yeah, that's kind of bats I love. Get it over with quick. I wasn't up there to take. Let's get it over with. 3 pitches, whatever.
But 20 seconds. Think
That's
about
quick.
how
That's
quick
like
that
boom,
is.
boom, boom,
For
you're done.
3 pitches.
I love it. Let's get this game going. Now, I
Mm-hmm.
don't love it when big situations, but in a spring training game, who cares?
Tucapita, he took a little bit of time and he was struck out.
Hey, that brings up the question, though, honestly. Do you have a sequence in your mind, and you're in the dugout, all of a sudden, hey, this guy's coming up, let's go bang, bang, boom, the first 3 pitches, so you don't even have to put a sign down, get it, got it going. I mean, our catcher's going to do that now?
I mean, might as well. I mean, you can hit the button. I mean, it's as fast as you can play the video game
Yeah,
on your wrist or on that little pitch comm. So, hey, heater, go, heater. But I mean, Wandy, I feel like Wandy, like, he planned that. He was just like, I'm going to try to be as obnoxious with this as possible. And it worked. I loved every second of it.
Yeah. Here we go.
Can you imagine how fast Mark Burley could have got someone out? Well, he was 20 seconds to get like 7 pitches. And there was times, Kratz, you're talking about as fast as you go. There was times where I just go like this to him, and he just throw whatever. We also had a game.
You didn't know what was coming?
No, dude, we had a game where Jermaine Dye was calling pitches in right field for us. We'd turn and look at him. Jermaine would go, curveball, slider. He's like, I got this inning. And he'd be our right fielder. And you'd see Mark go like this, and he'd go, curveball, fastball away, fastball in, cutter. Oh, yeah, we did it all the time.
So he would look back to him?
He would get on the mound like this, and before he'd take a breath, and he'd look, and Jermaine was right there, and we both looked, and he'd do it with his glove, and then he'd throw the pitch.
Do you think any team caught on to that?
No way. Frazier, if you're up there batting, you're not looking at the right fielder, Kratz, right?
No.
We had a game where our pitcher was getting rocked, and our shortstop, we had a mound visit, and pitcher was just like, oh man, like I can't do anything. Shortstop was like, I'll call the pitches.
Love that.
Shortstop called him, got him out. Last 2 outs of the inning.
See,
I like that.
there's all kinds of little things that happen that people don't know about during a game. I mean, there's all kinds of craziness.
That's why you're here, but that's also why, hey, if you're worried about sign stealing, just
Have the right fielder.
Yeah, have the right fielder do it. You
Shortstop
really want to
call.
fuck with him? That's what you do. I like it. All right, second up here on the lineup, Miguel Rojas withdrawing from the World Baseball Classic. He was going to be on Team Venezuela, and he said mutual decision between himself and the Dodgers. One of the big news items this week, Gavin Luck's down, torn ACL. He's down for the rest of the season. So Rojas comes over, you go from super utility, and now all of a sudden he's jumping into the fire, and he's going to be the starting shortstop for this team. And it also looks like Chris Taylor's going to get some work, much more work in the infield too. But in general, it's a guy who is a pretty good fielder. He's played for the Marlins for a long time. Now he's on LA. And I mean, to me, that I love the World Baseball Classic, but you got to get ready for the season. He's not going to be on Team Venezuela. I don't know off the top of my head who would be their starting shortstop, but whoever it is, it wasn't going to be him. So he wasn't going to get the same amount of reps. So you play in the spring training games and get yourself good to go.
Well, he's got to stay back now.
Yeah.
Right. When you lose Lux, you get moved from a utility guy to the starting shortstop. You've got to stay. It sucks for him if you want to play for Venezuela, and it stinks for Venezuela because they could have used him because he's just a good utility guy and he can play all over. From every account, he's just a good guy. But you got to stay, right? Like, you got to stay and get your team. If you're now the starting shortstop for the Los Angeles Dodgers, you cannot risk getting injured by going to the World Baseball Classic. As much as it means to these guys, it doesn't mean that much. The Dodgers means more because he's going to get paid for that.
And Frazier, you know who's up the middle for Team Venezuela? Jose Altuve, Andres Jimenez. So, yeah, he was not going to be a starting middle infielder on Team Venezuela.
No, he's that energy guy, though. I mean, he's one of the guys, he's big about his country. He's big about where he's from. It stinks for him, honestly, at the end of the day. But, these things come, every 4 years? You're hoping to play for the team. You're hoping to be part of, your lore, where you're from. It stinks. But, yes, it's go time for him. He needs to solidify a spot there, getting traded, show the team what he's about, and be a leader, man. He's going to be that defensive guru, get your hits here and there, but ultimately help that team out and lead them in the infield. And I think he's ready for that, man. It's something that he's always wanted to do, and I think his career in Major League Baseball is going to be a lot longer than the World Baseball Classic.
Completely agree. I got nothing. You guys hit every single bit of that. I feel like we've talked about Gavin Lux and the Dodgers shortstop for like 3 straight days now. So I'm good.
3 whole days. Does it feel also, Kratz, does it feel like we've been doing this show for 3 weeks already?
It does. It does. I feel like we, I feel like AJ needs a day off. So
Man, do I ever?
yes,
Right?
I feel
I mean,
like
hey,
you need it.
Man, I need to put my feet up. You know, I need.
Here we go.
It's supposed to. Yeah, here we go. It's supposed to be Frasier Friday, not AJ Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, it will. Make room for me. I'll be up there soon. But no, Kratzy, I love that. So, I come from TV world, and it gets a little methodical where it's like, hey, you have to follow with a whole minute thing, like on this show. Nah, you guys just said it all. I'm good. What's next? Like, that's what I want. I love it.
Yep.
Good stuff. All right, so we got Bob Nightingale in about 5 minutes. What I did want to get to real quick was report cards. This one's interesting from this week. It's perfect for you guys. So the NFL Players Association is revealing its first ever team report cards. They surveyed about 1,300 NFL players, and they talk about like coach, facilities, ownership, like you name it, they're giving grades, okay? So number one on the rankings, let me give you the top three, and then I want to get your thoughts on how this works with baseball, if it works in baseball. So the Minnesota Vikings were number one, Miami Dolphins number two, Vegas Raiders number three, and for the Vikings, a little more context, they got an A, player-friendly head coach. 100% of the players feel like owner Ziggy Wilf is willing to spend money to upgrade facilities, and that assessment makes sense since the Vikings have gone through 3 significant upgrades in recent years. And I'll give you a couple of the downs and like the downside here. Also, this tweet's from Tom Pelissero. I want to make sure that I'm sourcing everyone. So, and I think this was in ESPN. Someone in my ear will tell me pretty soon where the story was at. So let me give you 2 bad ones. The Pittsburgh Steelers players said no daycare during the day for their families to drop off the kids. That's not a smart move. And the Arizona Cardinals said there's a policy of deducting dinner money from the players' paychecks if they're at the facility. If anyone wants food at the facility, that's a big loss. You're going to punish football players, especially for eating food. Like you don't want your linemen to eat. You're going to charge them for food at the place.
Love this. I think this is unbelievable.
You love what?
This whole thing.
No, I know,
but I'm saying to put this out
Yes.
and say, hey, look, the Commanders were last, right?
No. I think
Cardinals.
it's the Steelers.
Oh no, I thought the Commanders were last, and then the Cardinals were 29.
Were the Commanders
30,
last?
Whatever it was. But,
They were down there too. And by the way, this NFLPA.com is who put this out there.
So I love this. Like, can we do this in baseball? Can we get the players to vote on organizations, and not only organizations, but like visiting clubhouses, home clubhouses? And they might make their home clubhouse mad, but listen, this is what it's about. It's about the players. Let's make these guys happy. And in the NFL, if you don't have good facilities and you're not feeding your guys, you don't have daycare during games too, right? They didn't have daycare during the game. So, like, let's go, NFL. Steelers are an organization that's proud too. Like, when did they start not going on the cheap? I played for – Crash, you played for more teams than I did. I played for 7. And some teams were better at things than other teams. Like, you go to the Red Sox – they give you everything. Like, you have the key to Boston. You want to do something? They make one phone call. Hey, this is the Red Sox. They bring zoo people in for the kids during the games, like with petting zoos and magicians, and and then you go to some organizations. I ain't going to name any names, but they didn't have anything.
No doubt. No, there's. I mean, I won't even start with the minor leagues yet because I think we're going to talk about that because that's different. But the big leagues, like, it kind of goes back to the whole competition thing. Like, what are we? What is our goal? Are we trying to win a championship? And if you're trying to win a championship, it's about how the players' lives are, their wives are, their kids' lives are. Like, those things matter. And I mean, to see the Cardinals and to hear that they got to pay for their food, like, you got to keep the one thing the Cardinals have, they got an A- on their strength staff. Their weight room, their nutrition, and their training room got F-. F-. Like, that's brutal. And I was in the Eagles, whatever it is, their OTA camps, their camp over there at the Nova Care Center. And so that was the first thing I went and looked up. I'm like, I got to go see how it compares. And they got B-, A+, A+, C-, and A+. So the C- was a training room. And I remember walking through there and being like, holy cow, you got a team of 56 active guys and how many stinking non-active guys? And they had like 4 training tables. And I love that it's put out there because it's calling a guy out. Like, it's about winning championships. Call somebody out because the whole crew needs to get their game right or else something's going to suffer. And for the Cardinals to get an F- on the weight room and F- on nutrition, they got an F- on the field, too, during the Super Bowl.
Well, there's a couple baseball teams, too. If you think of certain teams, like you only had certain spots where you could use the weight room if you're a visiting team. So the visitors didn't even have their own weight rooms. Yeah. You're using weights from years ago, half on, half off. I think about friends parking. I think about the family day. I was writing some stuff down the daycare we talked about. I mean, the call Pirates and Reds had some of the best daycares you'll ever see in your life. I played for 6 teams. I'm just thinking about, my wife and kid. My wife sometimes, how long can the kid be on the iPad for a 3-hour game? I give my kids, hey, you get an hour when you do something right, you get your iPad. My wife said, you know what? I want to be by myself for a little bit. Bring them to the daycare. And talking about getting food, listen, you can get chicken fingers and fries, just bring it on down, and you ain't got to pay for that. Come on, dude. It's that little things that separate you from being a good ball club on and off the field to being a great ball club. And that's how I look at it, man, helping everybody out, especially your family. That's the number one importance for me.
For sure. And even to that point, like going to the playoffs. I went to several teams, and I'm not gonna name them because they've cleaned up some of their act, but some playoff teams are like, no, we're not taking any families. And I'm like, okay, so the family's just catching like hey, we're not sure if we're gonna win this game and we gotta go to LA or we gotta go to, the next round, and my family's just gonna, they don't have a flight. So the next time around, that was said by some of the vets. The vets spoke up. And now they still didn't want the families on the plane, but they got a separate plane. And to me, that's big league. That's a lot of cheese, but that matters. And you're putting your guys in the best chance to have success. And if your wife is worried,
you're not worrying anymore.
No,
that's it. You want to worry
absolutely.
about the game separately. And my wife's calling me saying, hey, this, and this. This one's throwing up, and now we don't have this. Okay, well now it's like, who do I yell at?
Right, and you still got to get your 4 ABs.
Exactly.
You know what? I can't believe the Bengals won for the F. So the hot and cold tubs are super small. Issues with the showers and toilets not working. That sounds very Oakland A's-ish. And the only team that does not have outlets in their lockers to charge devices.
Come on.
Are you kidding me? Like planes, even the shitty ones, cars, you name it, you can charge. Imagine nowadays, like you're a player and there's a situation going on at home or your wife's pregnant, whatever, and your damn phone's dying because you can't charge it at your locker. What is this?
Hey, Kratz, we even got that. We even got chargers in our locker room in my son's high school. I don't know about y'all up there, but we got those.
Well, if we're just going to transition into the minor leagues, your son's high school is way better than, I'm going to say, 60% of the minor league facilities. But what's worse than your son, or what's better than your son's high school? Todd's set up down here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
This is legit. I'm telling you, your son's high school. I mean, yeah, they don't have like a Todd Frazier signature. They don't got the yard markers on the black turf. They don't, this guy, he's got 6 L screens. What do you need 6 L screens for? You got 1 cage.
Listen, it just comes with the whole package. I'm going to finish it by this. AJ, you're listening, right?
I'm listening.
We're talking about spreads. The best visiting teams spread. Don't say it yet. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. We're going to say the team out loud, and I bet you all 3 of us are going to say the same team. You ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Yankees.
Tampa, bro.
Oh, no.
Tampa, yo.
Oh. Again.
Tampa.
The guy it's a Florida thing. We
Nope.
get it.
He loves the Cuban. That's it.
AJ, you know better than to say that. You know the Yankees have the best visiting spread you'll ever
do.
It's
They were
5
two.
course meals. And
They
you
were
feel
number
like
2.
you're in a hole-in-the-wall place in Little Italy. It's the best you'll ever eat. Get out of here.
Listen,
Cuckooza for
Frasier.
life.
Actually, Frasier, the best spread back in the day was at Wrigley when Mikey, God rest his soul, rest in peace, Mikey, would bring in the McDonald's before the game. The French, you had the pancakes, the Swedish pancakes, right? With the berry and the big sausage patties that were like this big. Take the syrup, go out, take BP, come in, get you a quarter pounder and some nuggets, and go rake.
What year was that for you?
No,
I don't know. Every year, dude.
no.
Even if they stopped it, I made them go to McDonald's for me.
No, that you're looking for a gimmick. You're
No, I'm looking for some
for-
McDonald's.
You can get McDonald's anytime.
No, you're
Not
getting
Wrigley
this
Field.
right.
I can't.
Yankee Stadium.
Oh.
My guy has got you some fish.
Phil.
He's got you some beef. He's got you some chicken, and I'm sure there's
Pasta.
some kind of vegan. Oh, there's definitely
Pasta.
a pasta for everybody who's looking to carb
That was
load.
number two. That was number two for me.
Uh,
And then
you're-
Pittsburgh.
you're a
Pittsburgh used to
number
bring
two.
in the Benihana.
You're a number 2 to us. How about
Yeah.
that?
That's fine. Hey, Pittsburgh used to bring in the Benihana. Remember Benihana?
Oh,
They'd have
I
the-
remember Benihana.
And
Yeah.
in
Wait, they
Pittsburgh-
would do hibachi in
No,
the...
they would get it to go,
I
and
was
they'd
gonna
dump
say,
the rice in
can you
there.
imagine if you guys all sit
No,
around
that'd
and
be
it's
awesome.
hibachi and hey,
Did he just say, hey?
Burning up
Make the heart for you, the
No.
volcano,
yeah,
and
and he
the
flips
choo-choo
it.
train, he
Hey,
flips the shrimp.
put your hat out.
Yeah.
Let me flip a shrimp into it.
He's like, oh, he goes egg roll, and he rolls the egg down.
Oh, shit.
Wait,
This is great.
that is actually epic because some teams, like I think the Mets today, were doing their like talent show where guys are going to mess around. Sometimes like some of those managers would bring in like something funky. Imagine if you brought in, do a little setup and you do, hey, we're doing team hibachi lunch today.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be
epic.
Someone steal it. It. You can have it.
We did it was in 2000, gosh darn it. It was probably 2006 when they signed AJ Burnett, and Roy Halladay was kind of like, AJ was like kind of caddying around with Roy, and Aaron Hill and Russ Adams, two like young up and coming draft pick prospect guys, they made shirts making fun of AJ and Roy. So AJ and Roy, having quite a few more dollars in their pockets, went overboard, and they announced an engagement announcement over a airplane that had a banner during BP. So it was flying over the field, announcing Aaron and Russ, and everybody came in from BP, and in the clubhouse, in the cafeteria, was a full wedding spread, invitations in everybody's locker, tuxedos for the guys, a cake, and the guy was in there cutting the cake for everybody, so everybody had wedding cake before a spring training game.
Love it.
That's awesome. All right, well, Frazier, I'm gonna before we get to the toast, but I'm gonna throw this back on you. We're gonna name the worst spread. Okay.
At the same time?
At the same time,
three.
the worst food.
Oh, man.
Todd's
The worst
trying
food.
I'm trying to think now, man.
The worst. I can tell you right now, it's the easiest one in the world.
Wait. Before you say 1, 2, 3, does it have anything to do with a golf ball?
No, it does not.
Oh,
Wait,
shoot.
what?
Okay.
The worst? Oh, man. Okay, I'm way far-fetched here because I didn't complain once, but we'll go ahead.
Come on.
I wasn't complaining food. I like food, but I'm not going to complain.
All right, ready? One.
I'm calling somebody out that I'm probably not even mad about. But go
Hey, you
ahead.
got to go 3.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. Cincinnati.
Seattle.
Wow.
Hey, all three. I just made up a name, if you want the truth, because I didn't complain. If I didn't like it, I just moved on and I ordered something. Domino's was my go-to. Oh, medium.
Cincinnati was the whole package, though.
Yeah, true.
It wasn't just the food; it was the whole package. And they've since
Oh, man,
they've
poor
since
Cincinnati.
cleaned it up. I was there last year, and they're doing a bang up job now. But they used to put my catching equipment together after the game. I came out after we had a day game and then we had a night game. It was crazy. I played 2 days in a row, but pulled my catching equipment out and it had been sitting together, sweaty, and mold started growing in it. Oh, it was disgusting. But that was like, that was you had 2 omelet. You had Cincinnati was definitely number 2 after San Fran. But Cincinnati, you had two mix-ins for your omelet. You could get cheese and ham. That's it.
And
Listen.
chili. You could always get chili.
Chili.
You could always get chili.
I'm biased in this, but East Coast food is 10 times better than West Coast food. I will live on that all day, every day.
I'll say this from the fan perspective. If you ever get a chance to go sit in legend seats for the Yankees and get that spread,
That's it.
That
It's
is
the same.
It's the same as what the players get spread,
It's the
right?
same as what the
Yes.
visiting players get, if
Yeah.
not better.
Yeah.
It is insane.
call.
I've done that. They give you go everything you could ever imagine. Find this steak, meats, sushi bar, open bar if you've got the VIP pass thing. It is ridiculous. It is so good. Yeah, like that's something you save up for. You find a hookup. So before we bring in Bob Nightingale, hey, this is our first week of doing Foul Territory. Pretty solid week. Pretty strong so far this week, guest wise, and what we're doing. And really want to also cheers to everyone behind the scenes putting this together. So I just wanted to crack something. I know some of you are going hard, some of you aren't. It's all good. We got a little drink. Kratzy, where you got your little tumbler or something?
I
Or it's too far away?
had my tumbler, but I got yelled at pregame by somebody.
No, I mean you can. I just was saying, like,
Get the tumbler out.
My tumbler's all the way across, and Jesse tethered me to the chair here. So,
all right,
cheers.
then you can fake it. You'll do it next week.
You're supposed to look you in the eye when you cheers.
Cheers, brother.
Dude,
brother.
what am I gonna look myself in the eye?
Cheers, baby. Let's do it.
I got a new one. Someone gave me this Vizzy hard seltzer, so I'm in.
All right.
It's my first time ever having a nice little adult beverage on the air. I've been on the air for a long time.
Welcome.
You know,
Catch up.
and most people, for most of the time that I've been on the air, didn't think I was old enough to drink, but I am. So
And this is the first time I've ever drank water on the air, so
that shit's good.
we're even.
Yeah, that's that at a I'm a festival guy. You crack that at a festival,
Yeah,
like
Liquid Death.
yeah,
Yeah.
that
Sorry.
hits.
Sorry, guys. I don't know if you guys. I told Scott this. He made fun of me. I gave up alcohol for Lent, so it's gonna be a rough 40 days.
Hey, you don't go
Hey,
fast.
you got a great attitude about it. I like that. I like giving something up that might be a little bit tough.
Yeah, it's not, you got kids in sports, you got this running around, you got, St. Patrick's Day, you got Bay Hill going on in my backyard. There's a lot of
You don't want to get
temptation.
you don't want to get thrown out any games or get teed up either, like some people.
No, that's you.
That is probably going to be me though. Just like, do any parents do that? And then I know Bob's waiting first. We'll bring him in. Does anybody do that at a game? Like just kick back with a drink?
Plenty
So
of
my
times.
daughter's playing volleyball this weekend,
Funny.
right? My daughter's playing in a volleyball tournament. Well, one of the parents, he has a full tailgate in between them because you play 3 games a day.
Mm-hmm.
So you get like an hour or 2 breaks. One of the parents has a full tailgate in his back. Brings chairs, umbrella, coolers.
That's awesome.
So all the parents go out and they might have a adult beverage or 10 and go back for the next game.
I'm in for that. I know I see. I wasn't paying attention because I was probably a little naive, like Jersey basketball or whatever, Frasier. But some parents, if they weren't drinking, then there's a problem because some of them were getting after it. But are there games that you've been to out there where someone's kicking back after a hard day's work, watching their kid get after it on the court or the field?
Yeah, plenty of times. And you knew once we got to like the second or third game, that one parent that all of a sudden like, that's a darn strike, damn it. And you're like, oh, bad news bears, here he comes. There goes Phil. I remember like it was yesterday, dude. And I'm like, do I got to walk out to the outfield during the game and be like, yo, dude, I think that's enough. Because, hey, in travel ball here in Jersey, if a parent gets thrown out, the head coach gets thrown out. So, and I get 4-game suspension, bro. The rules are crazy. So now if a parent wants to act up, yo, you're doing this to my kid, this and that. I get tossed too. And now I got to go sit and watch for 4 games. Guess what? Me and that parent are going to have a big problem. Teddy Barrett, let's get the gloves. I'm not dealing with it.
I need a $199 monthly subscription to just get an absolute current cam for Todd during the travel ball game.
I'll get you that game changer subscription.
This is
Don't you
game
worry.
changer. I need to see Todd throwing a bucket of balls across the field because he just got thrown out because drunk Bill also got tossed.
Hey, epic.
Can someone behind the scenes write that down? We'll bring one of the PA or intern or somebody with Todd to a game at some point coming up so we can shoot it. I might even go. I might even want to go. So maybe on a Frasier Friday right after or something like that. So just someone write that down. That's a good bit right there. All right, let's bring in Bob Nightingale after having Bobby. You would see tough act to follow. USA Today's finest. We've all known him for a very long time. And cheers, Bob. I have been told you have a water. This is our first week, so it's been really fun. A lot of action going on. It's great to have you. We had Bobby on earlier. How you doing today? Where are you at? I heard you're at the same camp, or you're right near each other.
Yeah, I'm at the White Sox camp. They play the Reds today, so I'll see him in a couple hours. And you're making me jealous with the drinking here. It's still early out here, so a little too early.
Never too early, Bob.
Never.
Hey, Bob, tell Bobby, we're going to get into this, but tell Bobby to be careful on whatever the road is between the Reds camp and the White Sox camp, because I got a ticket one time in full uniform driving from the White Sox camp to play against the Reds. The cop pulled me over. I get out of the car. I'm in full uniform. He's like, "You play baseball?" I'm like, "No, I just figured I'd wear this today to drive to the – I don't know. I mean – on I-10, whatever it is." But your son Bobby told us that you wrecked your car, your precious car. So I want to hear about this car wreck you got, and then you didn't tell him.
Oh man, it was I went to the Player Association union meeting. Tony Clark was talking, and it was 10:45 in the morning. I had not been drinking, and there was a blind spot, and I turned left. I did not see this guy. This guy was racing down. Never saw him, and smashed my car. The airbags went off. Bobby Bonilla happened to see it. He goes, "Oh my God, I can't believe your life." And I got lucky. I mean, I love the car. I had it since back in Minnesota when the 2003 G35 Coupe, 6-speed, only 90,000 miles on it. But yeah, so I had to clean the stuff out of the car 2 days ago. It was kind of sad. I actually sat in the front seat for 2 minutes, kind of reliving some memories before I walked away.
How does it only have 90,000 miles on it?
With baseball, you're traveling all the time, everything else. The only time I really drive that much is during the spring training. So, yeah, just I know that's the part that hurt. I'll probably get about $40 back in return from the insurance company.
Hey, Bob, I want to ask you about some of the stuff going on around the league that you've been writing about, tweeting about. And by the way, B Nightingale on Twitter. Good follow. So let's start with your thoughts on Manny Machado and that signing this week, because then you sneak in. I love how you do this, Bob. You sneak in on the tweet. And the Padres are still going to go after re-signing Soto and Ohtani, and then everyone goes nuts. They're like, will these guys stop? So what do you think of all that's going on in San Diego right now? I mean, most people, especially in San Diego, now have fallen in love with the Padres.
Yeah, it's wild. I mean, they only had like a $32 million payroll just 6-7 years ago. It was small. I mean, people talk about Steve Cohen. How about Peter Seidler? I mean, Cohen's got worth $17 billion. They made about $3 billion last year in investments. Peter Seidler's worth about 2 or 3, but he's making every small and mid-sized market guy look bad. I mean, they're losing money, but he care less. He wants to win a World Series that badly, and leave that as his legacy. But you know what? I'll make up for that money when I sell the club, or when the family wants to sell it at some point. But yeah, I mean, people talk about Mets, Yankees, Dodgers. The Padres are right with those guys.
Hey, Bob, Todd Frazier here, man. How's it going, bro?
Doing great, Todd.
Good. We've had our good conversations through the years. I'd like to dive deep in a little bit about criticism a little bit. You know how baseball players go through it, and seeing online when you write an article or the things you say, you got to have your opinion too. Like, people are going to write some negative things on Twitter, on Instagram, whatever it is. How do you handle criticism? Because everybody talks about baseball players. Well, let's dive deep into reporters and analysts and guys like yourself, somebody as prestigious as you. How do you handle it? Do you just brush it off? You say, "Oh, this is kind of funny." Do you retweet it? Like, what is your going about criticism online?
I brush it off. I really do not read comments. I don't, because it's not going to do any good. I remember years ago talking to David Price, and he used to tweet a lot when he was with the Tampa Bay Rays, Boston Red Sox, and he stopped. He said, "You know what? I could tweet God is good," and people would answer back, "No, he's a jerk. What is he doing here?" That sort of thing. But it's so negative out there, and it's just and such a negative thing. The only when my dad passed in December, I did a tweet, 20 years of the Air Force, Colonel, everything else. And that was the only tweet I think I ever did where it's like 100% positive response. So I did see some good out of that. Saw some good last spring at this time during the negotiations, going to like 2 a.m. But otherwise, it's just like everybody wants to say something negative and dive into you. And granted, even players today are much more sensitive than they ever were. Much different than back back in the day when I was covering the Royals, the Padres, Angels, and Dodgers. It's just a different environment out there.
What's the latest that you're hearing from White Sox camp right now? We need to hear the dirt, not the little stuff. We want to hear something that you're seeing in there.
Well, different vibe. I mean, they're some of the guys were saying they haven't run this hard in spring training in 5 or 6 years. A very serious tone. I think these guys came to camp with a chip on their shoulder. Obviously embarrassed. Everybody wanted to blame Tony La Russa last year for them falling apart. Well, Tony would never step to the plate. He was on the pitcher's mound. I think guys kind of took advantage and went through the motions. And I think they come to camp embarrassed. They want to eliminate what happened last year. Because it was embarrassing for everybody, and Tony La Russa was the easy scapegoat. And just talking Lance Lynn, that never should have happened. It's like, hey, have some pride here.
Hey, Bob, I want to go back to Frasier, as a resident White Sox fan on the show. I want to go back to Frasier's thing. You've heard of the Madden curse, right? Have you heard of the Bob Nightingale curse on the Twitter and the Instagram?
You know what? I have stopped tweeting about no-hitters. People actually take that thing seriously. So now if there's a no-hitter going a perfect game, they said, hey, it's got something special going on. Just too many people go ballistic with that thing.
Well, no, there's like a running thing, because you break news so early, and then like certain things don't happen, like Correa, right? He's signing with the Giants and he doesn't sign, then the Mets, right? But it always seems like they always put your quote or your tweet up there. It's never like Heyman or anyone else. It's always Bob Nightingale. Oh, he did it again. Oh, Bob Nightingale's saying, the White Sox are going to win the World Series. Well, now they're going to finish in last place. Like, do you see that? Do you hear that?
I do. I wish to look at the track record just in recent years from 2019, 2021. I had those 3 World Series picks right. I picked Atlanta last year. Obviously they didn't win the World Series. But yeah, I mean, I guarantee when I pick somebody this year, it's going to, that team's got 0 chance now of making the playoffs.
No, I'm tailing Bob Nightingale's picks this year when we start throwing down. And we'll do some futures actually later, which I wanted to ask you about. So looking at the divisions, because we're going to go over the win totals, Bob, later for the NL West. Do you think it's accurate that the Padres should be, I don't want to say heavy favorites, but heavier favorites maybe than some anticipated over a team like the Dodgers? And it looks like the Giants aren't getting a ton of love out there either. What's your thoughts on that division? And I'm just going to keep mentioning the Gavin Lux news just because Kratzy loves to hear me keep going over the same shit over and over. But it is big news from the week. Just, we haven't seen a ton of injuries, knock on wood, yet in camps. And for the Dodgers, it seems like they're a little thinner this year and a little more reliant on prospects, which is fine. They didn't do major damage, but when you take hits like that early on, now Rojas going from super utility to starting shortstop. For me, I already had the Padres ahead of the Dodgers anyway, and something like that at the margins makes a huge difference in my mind. What about you?
I think it might have moved the Dodgers from a slight favorite to the Padres to a slight favorite. Remember now, the Dodgers finished 22 games ahead of the Padres. That's a whole lot to make up. I know they got the star-studded guys, but how many teams win the winter and just kind of stink during the summer? There's been so many letdowns over the years. The one thing about the Dodgers is they still have a ton of talent, and they got the deepest farm system in baseball. So if they want to go get some help, they can do so. Remember this year, too, with the over-unders is that now with more of a balanced schedule, they're not going to beat each other up so much in the West. You get to beat up on the Central teams, that sort of thing, and the bottom 2 teams in the National League East. So I'll give the Padres a slight favorite, but I think people are ignoring the Dodgers. I'd still be shocked if they don't make the playoffs.
Hey, Bob, I think about you. For some reason, what comes to my mind, I'm in the locker room. You would always be that calm, cool, like snoop around a lot. Like you wouldn't say much in the beginning, you would just cruise around. I see Bob in the corner. I see Bob over there, looking at you would always just peruse, you use your eyes a lot. So for me, was there a reason for that? Like, is there a guy like you wanted to get? Were you waiting for somebody, or was it just something that for you're just like, man, I want to check my scene first and then go back? Because I used to tell someone, hey, look at Bob over there. He's getting ready to pounce on somebody. And eventually you get to who you wanted to get to. You'd wait in line or whatever it was. But you were always that one guy. I'm like, there he is. Who's he going after today? So was there a method to your madness?
I think some of just being a national guy and not local. So say you have a sore ankle. All the beat writers give me about you to talk about the ankle. I'm not going to talk about the ink. I want to talk to you about the team or you or, something else. And so you're waiting to see guys, just covering the baseball as long as I have. A lot of guys I know in the clubhouse. So, so much as relationships. And with you, Todd, I will still remember of all the All-Star games I've been to, being at that party that night. It was a player association party when you have to win the home run derby in Cincinnati. that was such a cool moment, watching everybody go towards you like the biggest rock star in the world. But that was a cool moment. Of all my All-Star things, that stands up top 5 for sure.
I appreciate that, man. I got it hanging right here with me. So if you can see that, I'll give it a little kiss for you, man, from you. Don't you worry about that. Thanks, Bob. Appreciate it.
Hey, Bob, I got a question for you about the regionals and all that's going on in the business of baseball. Have you heard, you're in on all kinds of discussions, like team people even, obviously you don't have to call out names, but just saying, hey, it's a little weird. We don't know what's going to go down, with the regional networks and the money and the teams. I mean, I don't even know how to explain it without taking 20 minutes to do it. And just wanted to get your thoughts on, for most fans, they're like, am I going to be able to watch my team? Yeah, I mean, your games are going to show, but is it going to affect revenues, or are people freaking out about it, or have you not heard anything?
They're not freaking out. I mean, MLB has pretty much promised, hey, you'll get your money. It may take a little long, but you'll eventually get your payments. And they've told the fans, hey, you're still going to see every game, whether they're running, games 24 hours on the MLB network or what have you. But they'll, in teams, be able to publish their own. So if you're in a state like Iowa, where you're blacked out of seeing about 5 different teams, you're probably happy about it because those regional sports networks have kind of created the blackouts. Now, if MLB takes over, those blackouts are gone. So, in a strange way, maybe the owners will be upset, that sort of thing. But I think the fans may be thrilled, like, okay, I can see any game I want now with no blackout restrictions.
By far, the most shit I get over the years on Twitter is from fans thinking that I'm like behind the scenes running some crazy computer algorithm picking who's getting what games all over the country or something. I'm like,
there's a guy that does that. I know for Fox, there is a guy that actually does do that.
Like the what's it called in the master control room you're talking about, right?
No, that picks where the games go to in the country.
Oh, well, that's different.
Because there's like 2 games running. They're like, okay, well, this part of the country gets 80%, and the other.
That is different. Game. What you're talking about is, hey, these are the 3 games we got for Fox this week. What portion of the country wants this game? Which game, is most important to people, and what's going to rate well, all of that. So, but that's good to know, Bob. We appreciate you coming on. Would love to have you on sometimes. Oh, AJ's got one more.
Bob, before you go, you better say me. Who's your favorite? And I'm not going to ask which one. Who's your favorite player you ever covered? Who's your least favorite player?
You tell me what. The one thing about AJ, man, he told the truth. And it's weird. When you talk to guys like, I've just with Troy Hawkins during Super Bowl week, guys like Tony Hunter, Eddie Guardado, and they'll tell you that AJ was one of their favorite teammates they've ever had. And I'm not just saying that because AJ's right there, but he was as well loved and respected by anybody I covered. The probably favorite guy to cover on a daily basis was Tony Gwynn. I mean, he was unbelievable. Just, not one of the nicest guys in the world. You could talk to him about anything and everything. Certainly, those twins teams like AJ was talking about with Guardado and Hawkins and Denny Hawking, LaTroy. I mean, that was a fun team to be around. I mean, it was like a battle between all you guys to who would have the best quotes. It was a writer's dream being around the Twins during that heyday.
We got our Tony Gwynn bobblehead right here. Also, rest in peace, Tony. Probably the best pure hitter I ever played against. So, Bob, thank you for the kind words. You're the man. You were like the first guy I told these guys when I was a Twin coming up. If Bob Nightingale came and talked to me, that meant that I'd made it. Like you were talking to me about something. I did something good. So, thanks for always being there, Bob. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you, guys. And the one thing I'm remiss to say is Bo Jackson. I covered Bo when he first broke in. Nothing like watching Bo jump over table, betting guys $10, do his bow and arrow in the clubhouse. Those were fun times with Bo Jackson coming in.
Yeah, absolutely. And Bob, what is it? Because you're in Arizona, is it 9:27 or 10:27? Is it 2 or 3 hours back now?
10:27. They're changing.
Okay.
Arizona doesn't change time zones, so next weekend then there'll be a 3-hour time difference from the East Coast.
Okay, well, we're getting close to mimosa time. So cheers to you, Bob. Really, though. Thanks for joining us on our first Friday here. And we'll talk to you again down the road. Probably see you at one of the spring training sites or the WBC soon.
Definitely. Look forward to it. Enjoy the cocktails.
Thank you. Bob Nightingale from USA Today. Bob's the man. I mean, that's a guy you grab a beer with. Yes,
we
exactly.
had Rosenthal. We had Ken on yesterday. And now Bob Nightingale. Those are like the two kind of like titans, right, of the industry. They've been around forever. Know their stuff, know the guys, right? They get to know you as a person, and that's what it's about. Like they're great to talk to, and they never put you in a spot, right? Frazier, Kratz, those are the guys you want, right? Like they're not going to put you in a spot. They're not going to write something and say, without coming to you and saying, "Hey, let me defend myself here." And they always were there, and they were always stand up and take their heat if they deserved it.
Yeah, and he also understood, like, hey, do you really want me to write that in there? I've had a couple instances where they're like, hey, you sure? I'm like, let me tone that down a little bit, or, go ahead. And I would appreciate that from a writer, especially instead of the guy that's like, boom, and then leaves and goes out of the scene. He was respectable as well.
Yeah, I mean, not being a guy who's done something. I don't think Bob necessarily did a lot of interviews with me, but he comes from the era of like, Tim Brown, he's been telling me, how those guys, they used to shag BP with the players when they first started. Like, there was a different relationship. And you can see it with those guys, how it's not as cutthroat. It's more of that relationship. And they're part of the thread of baseball. They're not just some like, oh, well, the media half. No, they're part of that thread, whether they're a national writer, whether they're a regional writer, it's, for the Athletic, whatever, the guys that you respect the most, Bob, Ken Rosenthal, Tim Brown, other guys that have been around for a while, they're creating that relationship, and that's huge. That's a huge piece of it.
All right, we got a game to play, and it is called Make Todd Frazier Jealous. But two things left to do on this Friday on Foul Territory. Frazier, look what I got.
Oh, man. Why aren't you here right now?
Yo, and I got a fresh Topps pack. There is one autograph or relic card in every hobby box. So, Frazier, before I start this off, because this is what we're going to do once a week, we're going to rip packs. And I got one of these that I'm bringing up for my first Frazier Friday in a week or two. But we'll rip packs. What I want to do is, and I've always thought about this, like when players rip packs, even if you're not a collector, and they just start talking shit about some of the players that they played with, it's gold. So I know you collect, right? You just said earlier you got Ellie De La Cruz all over the place, right?
Yes. I'm trying to get these young cats, man. So the rookies, the numbered cards, the relics, the refractors, we're looking for numbers. Kratzy, in the card world, if it's numbered on the back, 1 through 5, 1 of 1, 1 out of 20.
That's it.
Now we're talking.
That's it.
Okay.
I mean,
it could be you, and it's still gonna be worth. It's still gonna be worth.
It's
a good
not
amount.
me. There's not many Eric Kratzes out there, but that's okay.
Hey,
Frazier, help me, because I'm not into this whole card thing. I was when I was a kid, but like Scotty, you're into it. Scotty's into it. So I'm looking for what? When I open this pack, like what do I want? I want like one of them jersey cards, like with the bat, slice of the bat. What do we want? So
long story short, you're gonna open a pack. And how many cards are in that pack, Scotty? What would you say, 6 to 8, or is it a big pack?
It should be 8 probably in this Topps.
Yeah, and probably 6 out of the 8 are going to be your regular, just wax cards. And the 2 are either going to be a different color card, a refractor, or a special player. And most of the time, out of that pack, you'll get one that's like $4 or $5 card, and you keep those. The other ones you put to the side and just trade or give away to some young kids who have some favorite players.
What we're missing here, AJ, here, give me your book for a second. What we're missing here is Todd in about 3 years, he's gonna be outside of spring training going, who's that? Oh yeah, who's that?
He's gonna be a seeker.
AJ.
He's gonna be a seeker.
Then I'll go walking by and he'll be like, Eric. Yeah. Be like, hey, what's going on? Can you get AJ? Yeah, exactly. Can you get AJ to sign my cards?
That's
I'll
how
be
they
like,
do it.
No. No.
Yes.
I love when guys sign the wrong person's cards.
Oh, that's
it's brutal. But I saw a minor leaguer. He thought he called him over, and he did call him over, but he thought he was Orlando Hudson.
Oh, no.
And the guy goes, Orlando, can you come over and sign? And the kid's just a minor leaguer. He's like, sure.
Yeah.
He's like, I thought the kid's name was Avery. He goes, I thought he said Avery.
Yeah, it happened.
Went over and signed some O-Dog cards, and the guy was like, dude, what are you doing? You just signed my O-Dog cards. He's like, all right, man. Just bounce with his signature right on him.
What are you going to do?
Hey, Valley Baseball Scout goes, because we got the YouTube chats bumping right now. I have a nice Eric Kratz collection. You're going to have to send us a picture. Tweet at Kratzy, okay? Let him check it out.
Like, what does this collection involve?
It's like 4 cards.
I mean, an Iron Pigs card, a Columbus Clippers card,
there's
Spikes card.
Oh, there's plenty of minor league cards. I got a minor league card from almost every level. Towards the end of my career, I would like get traded and like bounced up and down, but so I didn't get like the team cards. But oh yeah, I got so many cards sponsored by McDonald's, sponsored by like the local barbecue spot was on the back of one of them. Yeah, and I only got 1 bobblehead. What do you got? You got like He just got 3 Todd bobbleheads. AJ's got 6 over there. So we're
And listen.
my bobblehead, it's spelled wrong. We'll
Hey,
pull
by
that
the way,
one day.
Numbers going up.
Hey, let's go a little higher on that number of bobbleheads.
The bobblehead over under for AJ is at
sorry,
like 8.5.
Man.
All right, wait, before we start
Oh, wait,
this, okay? So no, you're good. I want to shout out Only Gems. They hooked us up with some boxes. OnlyGems.io. They're on Whatnot a lot, ripping packs. They've got some of those super influencers ripping packs, going over
we open the
what's
whole box?
valuable. We're not doing the whole box today. We're going to be on for 5 hours. Our crew will kill us, but we'll do this once a week. So we'll rip a few packs. Plus, when you open the box, this is the hobby exclusive. These should be the moneymaker cards here. I'll save that for the last one. When we feel like we're just about done, I'll rip this. This has 4 cards. That has 14. So you start, and if you've got a good one, hand it over, and I can show it off to Frasier.
What if the first one I don't know who the guy is?
No, you don't have to know them. I'll just sort through, right? Okay, so for example, first one I pull here, and these are just.
Put it on
this
your
isn't
bike.
like a.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't like an autograph or a chrome refractor or whatever. But can we get this camera shot here? Let me see.
I'm kind of
Let's see how
jealous.
sneaky we are.
Are you jealous, Todd?
I'm very jealous.
Like I'm jealous. Like I feel like I should be 13 years old right now. I haven't ripped packs for a long time.
Getting sweaty here.
Yeah.
We got Tristan McKenzie on here, who's there we go. See, that's nice.
Perfect.
Tristan McKenzie's going to join us pretty soon on this show too, a friend of the show. So there's Tristan. So that's how we'll do it.
So you get Tristan McKenzie, and I get Los Angeles Dodger Stadium. That's what you do with that one.
That's what we think
Donation.
of you. Yep.
Put that one on your bike.
Yeah, like the Dodger Stadium gets a card with like random.
Yeah, that's just to mess with you. I got Michael Massey, JJ Bleday, Kendall Graveman, Zach Davies, Hassan Kim,
Davies.
Graham Ashcraft. Oh, see here. I got a signature, baby.
Oh, you got the SIG already?
I got a SIG already. First one, Topps certified autograph issue. JJ Bleday.
Wow.
JJ Bleday, Miami. JJ Bleday ain't on Miami anymore.
Yeah, traded.
Who's he?
And that makes the card actually a little more pricier just because it's the first team he's played with too as
Let's
well.
go.
So what year is that for him?
So it says, congratulations, you've received. Here, let me show you.
It's gotta be his
Come
rookie
back,
card,
come
man.
back.
Right.
Come back to
I
me,
mean,
baby.
last year.
Come back. Show the crowd. There you go. Congratulations. It's going to be hard to read that way. I'll do it. You've received a Baseball Stars autograph card, Topps 2023 Series 1. Miami Marlins outfielder. No, these are all fresh, Frasier. These are from this year. It's just that he got traded like 2 weeks ago. So I got a Bleday auto. Here, I'll finish mine and then you go to yours. Corey Seager, Josh Naylor, but we're looking for the special ones. Matt Chapman, Austin Meadows, Christian Vasquez. Ooh, wait, I just want you to see this Dylan Bundy stash that he's got on the profile, and then AJ take over.
Solid.
Wait.
Very push broomy.
Yeah, very nice. I've always wanted to be a
Jeff
hand model too.
Samardzija.
Yes,
Like Carlos
exactly.
Rodon
Very
a little bit.
Okay, so like I've
right.
heard of every guy in your car in your collection there.
okay.
Now Frasier, I'm gonna name, and I want you to name you guys and tell me who this guy plays for. Caleb Killian.
Ooh.
Old Killian, yeah.
Oh, hey, St. Patty's Day.
St. Patty's Day is coming up March 17th.
Who's he playing for?
It got to be a green team. I don't know.
Caleb, hit us up.
Chicago Cubs.
Cubs.
Boom.
Yo, I'm
That's gotta be a
I'm the
reliever,
nerd
right?
on this show. No, he's one of their top pitching prospects.
Prospect.
prospect.
Yo,
Prospect.
you guys,
all prospect.
come on, you're gonna
Okay,
lose.
second one. Nick, tell me who this guy plays for. Travis Swaggerty.
Swaggerty. Oh, he's Seattle, isn't he?
Nope. Pittsburgh Pirates.
Oh, I didn't know that. I knew that. Oh, I should have known that. I
Wait,
know
don't
that.
tell me you played with him. Don't tell me you played with him on Pittsburgh.
I don't remember.
Oh, come on. Please, can somebody look that
Let me
up?
see that card. Let me see that card.
That is
Hey,
Max Fine.
I am
He's
bad
young.
with names.
He's a young
You
guy.
ask anybody. I'm bad with names.
So, heralded as the best defensive outfielder in the Pirates system by BA, Baseball America, among the organization's fastest athletes. He's only played 5 games in the bigs. It was all, so, and that was
Scott,
last year. So you're
I
good.
was thinking of Sam Haggerty of the Seattle. I played with him with the Mets, so
Yes.
I confused both names.
No, that's fair.
Okay.
Sam Haggerty's good.
So Christian Pache, obviously, I've heard of
Oh,
him.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ethan Small. Name the team.
Oh, man.
Kansas City.
No, Brewers.
Damn it.
Okay.
Garrett Cole, obviously.
Who's that?
Yeah.
He's in
George
the book.
Kirby, nasty.
Ooh.
Jonathan Aranda. Name the team.
Oh,
I think-
me.
Go
No, you
ahead.
guys go first.
No, you go. You got
I
it.
like him a
The
lot.
Rays.
Good looking.
The Rays.
Exactly.
Yeah, Kratzy,
Good looking
nailing it.
prospect on the Rays too. He's gonna have a good year.
Josh Rojas. Oh, you Darvish.
You.
Last in the past. Mark Appel.
Yeah.
You got any?
Still in the Phillies organization, kind of bouncing up and down last year. Got himself a National League championship ring.
Yeah. Ozzie Albies. Stud. Jesse Winker. Orlando guy down the street.
Yep.
Then I got this crazy looking 2002. I don't know where we can see this, but
Here, give it to me. Give it to me.
Byron
'Cause
Buxton.
I got a close shot.
Something.
Oh, see, here you go.
I don't know what that is. That special?
Give me a close up, baby.
Sometimes they are. Sometimes it's just a nice looking card. If you want.
Yeah.
The truth.
Yeah.
It's cool looking. Yeah. Greatest hits.
Nice. Yeah. No, that's okay. That's okay. It's a good card though.
That's worth what? 30 cents?
No, probably a couple of dollars.
Dude,
Yeah,
give me another
couple
pack.
bucks.
Now, see, now I want another pack.
See, now he's in it.
You get the
The
edge.
dopamine rush is on. All right,
Yeah.
so now you rip, I'll go. Ready?
One
And this is
more
how
pack.
you do it. Okay, so you just rip like this. If you pick out, if you know a guy or you see a rookie of a guy, then it's great. Luis Garcia, Randall Grichuk, Albert Almora. We got Vladdy Jr. Like, okay, I got some studs here, but these are just like the common cards of the studs. But Vladdy Jr., our boy Votto, Nick Prado, William Contreras, traded. This is William Contreras, Braves, traded to the Brewers. Brandon Crawford. I got a special card coming up. Jonathan Aranda. He's all over this freaking thing. I got an Angels team card. I got 3-on-1. I got Wright, Urias, and Darvish, but it's not it's just a fancy looking card. Teoscar Hernandez, Tanner Scott. All right, here, baby. Ready for this?
Yeah,
I like
talk
this
to me.
one. All aces. Alek Manoah
Zoom that in.
is coming. Come on, baby.
Not.
It's coming for you.
We'll text you.
There it is.
Oh, aces. Yeah, love that. Love
Man,
that.
that's a cool card.
Yeah, it's a
Couple
good one.
dollars. Couple dollars. Yeah.
Couple dollars. All right, you go, AJ.
All right. Josh Donaldson, waiting on you to get back to me. You want you on the show, so come on.
Yeah.
Oh,
One time.
I got a
Return
good
text.
story for Josh. Get him on the show.
Luisa Rise, Twins, not a twin anymore. Judgment Day,
Oh.
Aaron Judge. I don't think it's special, but it just says he walked him off.
Yep.
Then I got this triple card. Nobody cares about it. Then I got the Nationals coaching staff. Let's go with the Dodgers one. See, John Gray. This one's got the shiny.
A little refractor piece.
Let me see. Bring
Is
it
there,
up.
a
Shiny.
number is there a number behind it?
No.
Just a nice shiny
Just
card.
shiny.
No,
Liam
it's the
Hendricks
shine.
get better soon.
Yeah.
That's my guy, the mate. We got traded together one time.
Yeah, first strikeout. We already talked about that. David Villar, VR, Vogelbach. Now this is a dude right here. This is the guy right here.
Got that Mo
Vogelbach.
Vaughn swing.
Max Stassi. Once saw him take 95 in the face, stay in the game, stud.
Stud.
Emmanuel Clase, he'd strike us all out with 100 Monarch cutters.
Thank God I'm not playing.
Julio Urias,
A lot
Marco
of weird.
Gonzalez,
Yep.
and Keston here. I didn't get nothing in that.
Nah. All right. So one more, and then we'll do the rest next week. Okay. So this is because Fraser, you've seen this, right? You rip boxes. So you get the one special pack. You buy a hobby box.
Yep.
So this is Series 1, hobby exclusive.
Oh yeah, you'll get 4 to 6 in there of all shiny, nice, colorful cards.
Yeah.
Hey, let's
Can I
get a
get
good
two?
one, Scotty. Let's get a good
What?
one.
Can I get 2 of those?
Yeah, I'll give you 2. I'll take 2.
I'll
Okay.
close my eyes so they're surprised when I look at
Okay.
it.
Don't bend them now. Be
Yeah,
careful.
but you got it. So do you see the form here though? You see? No, here, look. You can open your eyes.
Oh.
This has to be the form. Frasier was there too. We went to the National, which is like the biggest card show in the country, maybe the world. Last year was in Atlantic City, and by the way, Atlantic City needed better Wi-Fi, and I'm a Jersey guy. I can call them out, but
that was bad.
you know it was real bad. So I brought Shady McCoy, and he pulled like this $20,000 Tom Brady card on one of these hobby packs, and he's like holding it kind of bendy, and the guy next to him is freaking out. He's like, go, go, go. He's like,
Really?
Yeah, he's like, that's 20 G's right there. Like, hold the edges, and then he immediately slabs it. So, all right, go. What do you got?
I got Chipper Jones.
Chipper Jones.
Tripper Jones.
I mean,
Chip Jones.
it's kind of shiny. It's very shiny. I don't
Yeah,
know if
they're
that's
very
worth an extra
shiny.
$1. And then I got Rafael Devers in the worst City Connect uniform that has nothing to do with the Red Sox. I get the marathon, but like,
Oh,
You don't like the yellow?
I like
I
it.
like the yellow. They look like UCLA.
You're not holding it right though.
Oh gosh,
Look,
sorry,
look.
my bad.
I like
my
the
bad.
yellow.
It just-
Yeah.
You
there
like
it
the
is.
yellow, Kratzy?
I don't know, man. Like if you could rock a yellow, I don't have much yellow in my
let's get this.
gear, in my fits, but the yellow sweatshirt that they got, I'm on it.
Yeah, I get it for the marathon, the whole deal, but
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. I'm a purist when it comes to uniforms. What do you got, Scotty?
All right. So Frasier, this actually is a question I got to ask my buddy because I mean I'm a collector, but I'm like not the most
I'm with you.
the most skilled. So I got Brett Beatty, and he only played for 5 seconds last year. So is this a rook? Or it counts? This is 141 out of 150, Frasier.
Yeah, no, there's only 150 of those made. That's a specialty card. That's a good
Right
one.
here. That's a good one. This might
Slab
go
it up.
Yeah.
Slab it up.
All right, I'll
Man,
slab
what
it
does
up.
that mean, slab it?
So slab it up. We're going to
Put it in
start
the sleeve.
teaching everyone here. You put it right in the sleeve so that it stays 9 or 10 because they'll grade it, right? Actually, PSA, which is there's a bunch. There's what is it? GSC, a bunch of these grading companies, and they'll tell you what the card's condition is in, and that helps what it's worth. And then I got a little Julio, but this one's not a numbered. But I got a Julio here.
Nice.
Rodriguez. But the Beatty one, if Beatty ends up being a stud, Frasier, I believe it's a numbered and I think it's a rookie card, no? Because it's
I hope so.
yeah. I mean he's barely played. So anyway, all right, that was fun. And
that
I'll
actually was
I'll
more
bring
fun
some
than I
up.
thought it was going to be.
I told you it would be, yeah. And
Because you get a little excited, you go back to your childhood days, and you're like, all right, well, cool. I mean, I wish I would have got some better cards, but it was also funny that they didn't know who the guys were either.
that was a good game
young
actually.
guys, yeah.
That was a good game. We have a lot more packs. In the interest of time and letting our crew have a Friday, we'll move on. All right, so one more thing I want to do before we slap hands, messing around with some segments here. So we're going to do some win totals, over-unders each week, okay? A little futures betting. Let's get ready to throw down and tell people how they should be looking at the season coming into now March here. So let's see what we got. We're going to throw up we got 3 things to show you. First off, I want to see how the teams did last year. Second of all, I want to see what Vegas says right now for over-unders. And third of all, I use a little helper. So here we go. So NL West predicted win totals. This is from Vegas Insider putting them up. Obviously, they're all pretty much the same, the lines over at Vegas. And I misspoke. I was saying to Bob Nightingale, I'm like, oh, now they've dipped. The Dodgers are still number 1. They're at 96.5. Padres 93.5. San Francisco 81.5, Arizona 74.5, and of course Colorado. Even though Dick Momford thinks that, I think we're going to be a 500 team, which is great for your owner coming into the season, basically saying we're not making the playoffs. Anyway, so Out of the Park, I'm an ambassador for them. It's a great video game. They put together simulations, so I look at some of that. Can we throw that up one more time? Let me see what Out of the Park said, because they have the Padres at 92. So they ran. I think it was 100 or 1,000 simulations, and they've got the Padres at 92 wins, LA at 89, San Francisco 78. So they think Dodgers are going under, San Diego just under, San Francisco under. They've got Arizona over, which I don't hate that. And Colorado, they said they nailed it when they ran all their sims. So where are you throwing money down? We're going to do at least one division per week. Phrase, you and me throw down probably the most out of this crew. So give me one team where on the left column there, Vegas Insider, you're like, all right, I'm gonna make some money on this on the futures bet this year.
Well, I'm gonna go with the Arizona. I'm gonna go with them going over. I think that's a good bet. Alec Thomas is a young stud in his second year coming up here. He's gonna have a really good season. Young man, I've had his dad at the White Sox. He was our strength and conditioning coach. Little lefty outfielder. They got some young studs coming in, and I think they're around, I'd say 79, 80 wins. I think that's about right. And they're not playing, as I said, they're not playing their division as much. So I think those extra 8, 9, 10 games, they're going to go over 74.5. I got them doing that easily.
With Zach Gallen coming in and getting his 32 starts, you think they got it?
Yeah. Just nice and easy.
Throwing strikes.
Just throwing cheddar biscuits.
Lost Dalton Varsho, but picked up
okay.
Teoscar.
That's fine.
I'm gonna go with your buddy in Colorado there. I'm not sure if I'm the second one to pick. Scotty didn't tell me I'm the second one to pick, but Colorado's they're going under. And it is going to be some long games. They're going to ruin there are going to be a lot of 9, 10, 13 run losses up there because not only is that outfield ginormous, and everyone's like, oh, home runs, whatever. The outfielders, it's going to be an absolute track meet out there. And now the infielders
get the mask.
They're just gonna come up with one strike, so many at bats because they're just gonna be getting oxygen, trying to just running in from the outfield.
It's gonna be tough.
So under for Colorado,
Under?
I got about 61.
Okay.
So they're going to lose 100.
Easy.
Yes.
Easy. Well, then, okay. Now, since I get to go last, Scotty, you're not picking, right?
I'm picking, but I'm going last, and I want you to go. Yeah.
I'm taking the Dodgers under, but just slightly under 96.5. I think 96.5 is a big number for them. I know they won the division by 22 games last year, but I don't know. I think they're going to be around 94, 95 wins this year. They're still going to get in the playoffs. They're still dangerous. I just think, losing Lux hurts and not having that shortstop. They lost Turner. Now they lost Lux. They didn't really – they brought in J.D. Martinez, but they didn't really get the guy, right? Like the Dodgers the past years, they went out Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. They traded for Scherzer. They've done all these things. I just think they're going to be a 94, 95. It's going to be close, but I'll take the under. Just when Freddie Freeman's going to call me and say, oh, you hate us or whatever. But it's all good. 94, 95 wins for the Dodgers, just under.
That's what I'm looking at is Dodgers and Padres, and I'm not going to necessarily touch the Dodgers number there, although I'm thinking under. But I think the Padres are winning this division. I think they're close to a 100-win team in my mind. Colorado's terrible. Arizona is, maybe a little better according to Frasier than what Vegas thinks. San Francisco's okay. They didn't get the superstar. They got nice little pickups. They're okay.
They made some good moves.
And I could see them surprising a little bit. But I think the Padres, I know they're getting talked about a ton. I'm believing the hype this year.
I think Tatis plays and is healthy.
I think Tatis plays healthy and he's good.
You see him trying to catch the balls in right field the other day?
It's called spring training for a reason, but yes. I think Machado is going to be a stud and show what the contract's worth again, and he's consistent as can be. I think
Soto
is the big one for me. I think Soto is going to take off more than he did. I mean, he's been a superstar in the league already for years. He went to San Diego. Wasn't great. He was okay. Right?
Wasn't great is an understatement, but okay.
Yeah. So I think he's going to take off. Pitching-wise, I like the rotation better. I think they've got a lot of depth. They brought back some of the big relievers like Suarez. So I've got the Padres winning this division. And if that's the case.
100 games?
Even if it's not 100, it's not 93.5 I'm going over. I mean, I think they're winning the division. It's at least 95. All I need to do is get over the numbers. So that's the one that I'm hammering at this moment. Okay. I don't like to throw down on futures until closer to the season starts because I just don't think there's a ton of benefit to it. Like those numbers won't change a ton. They'll change if you can get punished more in spring training in my mind than rewarded, right? So, Lux goes down. It tweaks the numbers a little bit. But for me, with the Padres, God forbid there's an injury to one of their big stars, that number's going to change drastically. And if I had them on the over and one or two guys go down, I don't want to get burned. So I'll wait until closer to the season. But Padres for me. That was interesting. I thought at least two of us would have had the same team, but we all went in a different route. And of course, Kratz, going with the Rockies.
No,
Like,
Frazier took the easy one, 74 for the Diamondbacks. You know, they've been.
That's not easy.
Yeah, that's a pretty
No, it's
easy
not.
call for me.
It's not.
I would have gone with that, but you know,
wait.
Frazier, I thought Frazier took the layup there. He took the easy way out.
I want to
No.
clarify this though, because Frazier, this is good for you and Kratzy too to know, because this is coming from the TV vet. A lot of times we sit in meetings and we're like, hey, who wants to take this team? Who wants to take that team? And they prepare video and make it a whole thing. No, that's fake.
No.
If you want to pick the same team, like there's money on the line here too, like in your own mind and your credibility, pick the same damn team. You know what I'm saying?
But I really think the Dodgers are going to be under.
That's,
But I also
that's-
like Frazier's over for the Diamondbacks.
Right, that's fine. So you're tailing, and I'm teaching them a lot of terms.
Parlay.
No, we'll get to that later.
Okay.
Tailing. So tailing. If you like someone's pick and you want to throw down with them, right? Like, so let's say Frazier's like, hey, I'm gonna drop a couple $100 on the Diamondbacks over this year. Then you say, I'll tell that. You'll do the same thing. You like the pick.
Okay. I thought it was like Jack Sparrow when they all get captured. They're like, I want a parlay.
Parlay is different. You want a parlay? For you, it would go, I want the Diamondbacks over, and I'm taking the Dodgers under. And both of them need to happen, and your odds are significantly increased by doing that. This is why
This is why I don't gamble, because I don't know what the words mean.
This is why I'm your neighbor, but you are gambling.
I know. I am gambling now.
Yeah, so I'm teaching you. It's not hard either. It's not very difficult.
I know.
I mean, it's much easier than figuring out signs.
I never had any signs. My sign was the guy steals swing. That was it. That was my one sign.
All right, let's slap hands. We did it. We almost did another 2-hour show. It wasn't supposed to be this long. AJ, slap hands. So, a couple shout-outs. Birthdays of the day. Willie Keeler, Neil Heaton, Scott Radinsky. I don't know. No offense. I don't know. Do you know any of those names?
Willie Keeler?
I kind of heard it, but it's before my
Before your
time.
time.
Yeah,
Kratz played with him in AAA.
Rookie ball.
Rookie ball, baby.
Scott Radinsky, nasty lefty. He was a bullpen coach for the Indians then, now Guardians.
Yeah,
Well, that's why I
Guardians.
Who
need you.
was the other one?
Neil Heaton, Heaton.
Left-handed pitcher too, right? Didn't Texas? No, maybe not. But he was a lefty too, I believe.
Okay. And then another shout out to
Guardians.
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 Shout out to Ramstein Air Base in Germany for checking out the show today. Appreciate you. And also, I wanted to give some love to Out of the Park. I'm an ambassador for them. I can do whatever I want on this show. So thanks for giving us the simulations. Sometimes I've used in the past in other places I've worked, like other win projections to like help me make my picks, and they're not great. They're like a little too safe. So OTP, you know who voices the trailer for that game?
You.
Me.
I could not.
Nice.
I mean,
Pre-order now, 10% off.
do
Otherwise,
we get free copies? Like,
March
can I get a free
24th.
copy?
Yes. Do you guys want?
Well, yeah.
Absolutely.
What is it? How do I play it though?
I'll
get,
set
like,
you
a
up.
Game Boy?
I'm right next to you.
Do I get like a Game Boy?
You can do
Game
it.
Boy.
Yeah, if you give me a Game Boy that actually works, I'll set it up for you. Otherwise, it's on a PC is how I play it. So we'll go over that another time. But thanks to OTP. And then Kratzy, when we're giving out some of these cards, if there's any that we just did that are worth anything, you want to shout out a charity today, I'll go through this over the weekend and see if any of these are worth something. And if they are, we'll flip them and throw some money towards
Worthwhile Wear. Worthwhilewear.org. It's I'm actually on the board of that company. They Worthwhile Wear exists to reach and restore women affected by human trafficking, because we believe everyone is worthwhile is their tagline, their moniker. It is a incredible group. Dan and Steph Emmer, two of my good friends, started it, and it's a good charity that I've been a part of now for a few years, and it's something that is just doing incredible work locally in the Philadelphia area, but also, you know, they're spreading their Worth It program throughout America. Anybody that wants to sign up for it, it's just incredible project.
Very good, man. That's beautiful.
Love it. Hey, Frasier Friday was fun. Weekend plans? What's going on? I'm going to be at AJ's one of these days for the millionth time because I'm going to fix a few things up in here. I got some work to do in here. I'm a handyman now. What do you guys got going on?
I got a big weekend, man. First, you give shout out. I give shout out to Elite Barbershop for this beautiful haircut. Kevin, keep up the great work, big dog. For me, big state championship for my daughter tomorrow. Final meet of the year. She's been doing really good. Kylie, let's go. Take it home. I don't want to get thrown out of this gymnastics meet. All right, let's get going. My other son, Blake's got a big basketball game coming up, deciding second or third seed. And we're going to the Bahamas on Sunday, so I won't be there with you guys next week. So my first time taking the family on a vacation for the whole week.
Wait, where are you going?
I'm going to Margaritaville in the Bahamas. So I will.
Come on, dude.
I'll be sending you guys videos. Don't you worry about that.
We can't get in Atlantis. We can't get a Baja Mar. You're going to Margaritaville?
No, it's ready. Hey, there's more kid stuff to do at Margaritaville. There's a lot more parks and water parks and that kind of stuff. Swimming with the dolphins, hanging with the pigs. We got it all set up, man. Like you usually do. I do it myself. You have your partners do it for you, right, AJ?
Yeah, Bahamas is one of my favorite places on earth.
Me too. Me
Love
too.
it.
What are you doing?
Well, let's see. Today I got volleyball tournament with my daughter.
You going to Bay Hill?
I was, but I think she has a game this afternoon. Probably maybe try to sneak over to Bay Hill. Big baseball game tomorrow. First Academy versus Dr. Phillips, my alumni school. Dr. Phillips, my alma mater.
Dr. Phillips. That's
Where
a
I went
school?
where I went to, me and Johnny Damon, you heard of him before, right?
Another name drop.
That's
How many
right.
more name drops are we going to do?
Yeah, we were on the phone with Johnny
did talk to
Damon
Johnny
right
today.
before this show started. We did talk to
So
Johnny.
we're
Get him on the
playing
show.
Dr. Phillips, my alma mater, which, by the way, Frasier, I'm sure yours is this in Tom's River. My number's retired, but they unretired it. The coach unretired and didn't ask. I don't know if that's cool. or not.
No, that wouldn't fly here. Somebody's going to be losing an arm.
Yeah, I
right
know.
now.
Yeah, right. So
No.
yeah, so got a big game against them. I hope we beat the crap out of them just because of that alone. And then other than that, that's it. Hang out with Scotty Braun and get ready for Monday.
That's right. We got a big week coming up. But thanks to everyone, the crew. One more time, get claps for the crew. Like, this is not easy to do. This shit looks good.
Cheers, boys.
Ticker,
Girls.
yeah,
Good
cheers.
job.
The ticker
Cheers.
looks tight. The guests came in great. We were second day we ever did this. We're remote. Sorry, I had to take a sip. At Mets camp, and props to the Mets for setting us up. Lindor, Diaz, Pham, Correa, Adam Jones was great, the whole deal. So thank you, everyone. Cheers. Enjoy yourselves. Get a nice steak dinner or have a drink or two on a Friday night. And thanks for listening and being a part of Foul Territory in our first week in business. Hashtag FT Live if you want anything. Also, there are some ridiculous clips on some of our socials, so check them out. TikTok at Foul Territory Show, at Foul Territory TV on Twitter. I'm not going to be like that, shameless plug person. This video will handle it for me. See you Monday.